Newest true crime comedy podcast. Death and Entertainment starts now.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from Los Angeles.
Hoo-ah! Here we go!
This is exciting, isn't it?
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Okay.
What is going on, everybody? It's 7 p.m. Do you know where your deados are?
They are right here.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? My name is Kyle Plouffe.
I'm Alejandro Dowlane.
And the man sitting to my right, he is here to answer the questions from the biggest cases around. Chris Todd, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
It's a big week.
Giant week.
God. Scary week.
Yeah. We had originally met. You had heard one of our episodes on Natalie Wood, and that's how we kind of got familiar with you, because you've delved into that investigation as well.
Live that.
Yeah.
Live that story.
Yeah.
Shout out to Psycho Bunny.
Psycho Bunny.
What is up, Psycho Bunny?
Psycho Bunny. Shout it out.
Okay, so in our episode of Natalie Wood, we determined that Robert Wagner did have something to do with it.
Yeah.
What that is exactly is still a little murky.
Like the water.
Yeah. So what do you think happened?
Well, I mean, I really lived that story. That was one of my first investigations that I ever did. And I still am working it. I have a video coming out, interview in about 2 weeks, I think. So definitely check that out. And that was a wild story. Robert Wagner absolutely was involved, and Christopher Walken was a witness to this, an ear witness, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis Davern, the captain, we try to protect Dennis. I did. I believe he is a witness also to the murder of Natalie Wood. But to say it's a murder is hard to do, and I've hemmed and hawed over the years. What I believe, you want me to just say what I believe happened, just to say it straight up? I believe Robert Wagner, through Natalie Wood, pushed her into the water.
On purpose.
Yes.
But you believe it's second degree.
Yeah, I would say because now Marilyn Wayne hears her yell, help me, someone help me, I'm drowning. This is in the affidavits that they're online. You can find them. They're hard to find, but there were like 5 or 6 affidavits about this night. And this took 30 years for these people to talk. And Marty Rooley, Dennis Davern, there was a guy, Roger Smith, there's a couple other people, and Marilyn Wayne. And so what I'm saying is, I thought at first she was unconscious when she went in the water. And there was some evidence that she didn't kick and her socks were still on. So she was already like unconscious and then she drowned. My view has changed over the years and it's hard to explain, but I believe Robert Wagner pushed Natalie Wood in the water in a fit of rage. I mean, these people are drunk, high, angry. They are arguing all weekend.
Keyword angry. They were bad, angry, sloppy drunks this weekend.
Jealous. Robert Wagner of Christopher Walken, who was a movie actor and he was a TV actor.
Mhm.
Robert Wagner and Natalie and him were kind of flirting with each other. Even the captain said that. He was kind of surprised at what Natalie was doing right in front of her husband. So
nothing discreet.
Right. And so there's this bottle smashing incident, but we can go into details. But I believe that Natalie was alive and struggling, and he let the dinghy out as a way to almost say, as a
maybe
way,
with Walken.
Exactly.
Well, that's
a theory.
I was waiting for that to come up. But people care more about that. Like, Walken and Wagner have a tryst with each other. They hated each other. Like,
that's so pervasive though. And then there's also the rumor that she walked in on Wagner earlier on at their house.
That's actually true.
Yeah,
that's actually true.
With
the butler.
With the butler
in the study.
with the candlestick.
With the wrench. That was
that's true though.
First marriage.
Yeah.
It took a long time to confirm that.
Right.
The mother Maria Gurdon had said, because remember, Natalie gets married twice to Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
So she's married to her ex-husband, if that sounds any.
Yeah.
And she had made a comment saying like, well, he's probably done with that stuff that he was doing before, trying to bless their new rekindled marriage. So that story supposedly is true, that Robert Wagner was with the butler.
Isn't that the definition of insanity, to get married again? They already knew it didn't work.
Could be.
Then they got married again, and look what happened. And then there was this story of he was like a gay pinup guy / actor, and he was in the movie The Boys in the Band.
Mm-hmm.
He says he had a tryst with Robert Wagner. He died of AIDS in the 80s, but that was one of his last interviews.
Really?
I'm just saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. Anderson's asking if Kirk Douglas really raped Natalie.
Absolutely. Yes, he did.
Oof.
That's a tough one.
And it is. And I've wanted to slam Kirk Douglas, and I'm not going to do it today. I'm here to have fun with you guys.
Yeah.
A lot of my other videos, I kind of go after people, and I'm not here to do that today.
Sure.
Because of the way you guys do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yes, that came out. I'll give credit where credit is due. That came out through Marty Ruley, Dennis Davern, and Dylan Howard. They did a podcast, and Lana Wood expressed that. That's out in public.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Damn.
They knew about this for years, but Lana Wood withheld this. And the Maria Gurdon, the mom, said they kind of brushed her. They saw her come out of this Chateau Marmot, was all messed up and hysterical.
Wow.
But because her mom was so ambitious to have her daughter, the world will know this girl's eyes. You know, that was the story of Natalie. She was destined for fame. Okay.
Yeah, from a young child,
Yes,
they
the
plucked
gypsy.
her from the street, basically.
Yeah.
A gypsy told the mom, the world will know this girl's eyes. And then she said, and make sure she beware of dark water.
That's right. She had that fear of swimming.
That's why they call it dark water. But anyway, so just to wrap quick part up, I believe Wagner lets the dinghy out. That's why the dinghy's loose, because it's a way to say, listen up, you B. Here you go. You want to go ashore like you did last night on Friday night? Here you go. Go yourself. And that's why there's scratch marks.
So
The dinghy. She can't get in the dinghy.
Right.
So he didn't mean to kill her necessarily.
But he couldn't bring himself because of his jealousy and his rage. And we get to those points in life where we can't come back.
Right.
Once we're over the thing.
Plus the panic of the moment. He wasn't in his right mind. Plus drunk.
And where's Walken? And where's
apparently sleeping.
And where's Dennis Davern? He's the captain of the boat.
His story has changed over the years several times.
Yeah.
I can't really figure out what the real story is with him, because I want to say he's credible, but it has changed quite a few times.
Right.
You have to give him credit and courage for coming forward against.
For
Robert
sure.
Wagner bribed him for 2 years. He lived in like
Oh, yeah.
house. You know.
Well,
that.
right. That explains the first couple of story
They
changes.
put him on Heart to Heart.
Yeah.
As an actor.
Oh, totally bribing him with Hollywood. Yeah, that I forgot about that. So you can forgive the first few drafts of this story.
They didn't talk for 10 years.
Yeah.
Davern never talked. It took many years.
Wow.
Before he actually, think about it this way. It was 1981. It's going to be what, 43 years anniversary. Think about that. 43 years it's taken to get to this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still really not a definitive answer.
No, not at all.
Right, because people won't believe me. A lot of times on my cases, when I say something happened, a lot of people don't want to believe it. I'm just saying it for justice for Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood was murdered by her husband, and 2 other men are culpable as accessories after the fact, concealment, okay, for not saying there was a fight. They were asked specifically, and they said nothing. And look, we know the story where Robert Wagner basically says, one of the civilians or rescuers says, and I told this before, but it's important. Where do you think she is? And Wagner's all, dude, he probably took the dinghy and went to another boat, looking to hook up with someone, because that's the type of woman she was.
Wow.
Like, that's insane.
Casting dirt.
Think about
Well, they really, they treated her so disrespectfully post-mortem, basically.
Said she was drunk, hit her head,
Yeah.
fell off the boat.
All
This is
her.
slander. You're slandering someone who got murdered.
And an American icon, no less.
Beyond.
She deserves better than that.
Yeah.
I also wanted to get your opinion, if you find it as preposterous as we did, that interview that Robert Wagner gave for Natasha Gregson Wagner, his
God.
not as a real, well, how do I put this? His like adopted daughter.
With HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was such an interesting interview because she's basically leading him the entire time and trying
It's
to
a ruse.
say he's innocent.
It's a ruse. It's a setup. And I warned HBO that too, and they got so mad at me. And I know who the company is. I'm not supposed to say who they are. They've had issues with me. And that was a setup. And I'll tell you this right now. I'll give credit to Marty Rulli, Dennis Davern. There were a couple other people involved with us, managers, agents, writers. The reason they came forward with that HBO thing is because of these people. It wasn't because Robert Wagner, he didn't talk for 30 years. And all of a sudden he's coming out.
Right.
Because of Marty and Dennis and some stuff that I did. Then they did a perfume. And then she came out and the daughter, Natasha, it's really, they're brainwashed. I'm just going to say it right now.
So that's what you think it is. Do you think it has to do with his fortune?
Yeah, staying in the good graces to stay in the will.
Well, I mean, look, if you're facing life in jail or second-degree murder of 20 years, you're going to say and do anything to get out of it. So, look, it's a fascinating case. We could never go over the whole thing. I lived this story. I lived this.
Yeah.
My children grew up with it.
Right.
They still say to me, there's Natalie. When they see something of her, Natalie, they remember it as children. So I tried to do the best I could. Hollywood censored the story. We'll just say it. They did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry they did. And they're still, Lana Wood's trying to get him. If you really look at her, she's trying her best.
But they basically destroyed her character.
They destroy Lana Wood's character.
Yeah, they act like she's completely, ridiculous when she's actually saying a lot of truths.
Yeah.
And they tried with the podcast when Dylan Howard did it and they had some high rankings. They did it. They tried. But the problem is when you use the captain, he can't fully say it. That's why they can never get it. Because he says, I turned the music up. I looked over the deck and then I turned away. I didn't want to look anymore. Then when I came back, she was gone. So see, there's that window there of like, well, what happened from when you saw her to then?
Well, that's when she died. That's very convenient.
I think you're absolutely right that he didn't accidentally throw her in. He threw her in on purpose, but he did not mean for her to necessarily die.
Correct.
Yeah.
But he didn't help her either.
Right.
And then they covered it up. I think Walken saw what happened and he's like, I can't even get
he heard
involved.
it. They saw the fight.
The aftermath, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a beating. Robert Wagner was beating Natalie Wood in the stateroom, and Dennis Davern went to the door and knocked on the door. And that's why they find her earring in there. It's ripped out of her ear.
Jesus.
And so Wagner like opens it. You got to picture to the scene. It's dark. It's rainy. It's late. They're wasted.
Yeah.
You got to put it.
Oh, it's terrible weather. It's Thanksgiving weekend. It's cold.
Raining, they didn't want to go. Wagner didn't want to go, but Natalie did. And it was like, it was
so strange. And to leave the rest of the family at home on a weekend where it's fun to stay inside, make popcorn, watch movies. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Literally.
So why are they going on the ocean with Christopher Walken?
They were enamored with Chris because he won the Oscar for The Deer Hunter. He was like
recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the top guy. Natalie was trying to come back. They were in Brainstorm together.
Yep.
There's a scene where they're under the sheet and they're like in love. And so Wagner knew this. And look, in a way, I think Wagner felt like, Natalie, you asked for this and you got what you deserved, right? I think that's how he thinks. Like,
sure.
Bottle and goes crazy.
We'll get to OJ later, but I think there's similar traits
where
perhaps Robert Wagner even convinced himself that there's a different story that happened that night.
Well, I mean, we don't have to really wait. We can just jump right into it because last week we talked about alternative theories about OJ.
Before that, real quickly, remind me at the end of the episode, the other one that I wanted to talk about, we can do this later on, that we covered recently is Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
So just remind me at the end, we should circle back.
This one, you ready for your segue into OJ if you want?
Let's do it.
OJ.
There we go.
Oh,
wait, not done. 2 jealous ex-husbands. He's an ex-husband, Robert Wagner, technically. OJ, RJ, 2 jealous ex-husbands get embarrassed and kill, right? And both of their wives are famous, right? Well, actually, OJ makes her world famous with killing them.
Yeah. She wasn't exactly.
I know.
That was a stretch, but I was waiting until that part.
But you see what I'm saying? Of like, they're embarrassed, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
By Ron and Nicole there, and the anger, and then RJ's embarrassed because he screams in front of Walken and Davern, and they're all just like, after he smashes this bottle, supposedly they're like frozen. Supposedly, what I heard, I can't confirm this, but a couple different people told me that happened. Supposedly, is that Natalie said, "I'm divorcing you," right there in front of everybody.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it was rage.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So going from RJ to OJ, a lot going on with this. When he died, the day that he died, we did an emergency live. I don't know if you were able to catch it, but I went over the Jason Simpson theory.
Oh God.
Which Alejandro was surprised that enough of our viewers actually agreed with me that there might be some credence to the Jason theory.
They worship the Jason Bill Deer theory.
90% of the comments seem to think he did it.
Well, Alejandro's a mainstream news guy.
No,
he believes the narrative that is told to us by the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those people that they write me all the time. A little
closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
And can you remind me then, what is the Jason theory?
Oh, I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Started out.
Jason just, they said there was a lot more evidence that Jason was a part of it than OJ being a part of it.
His oldest son, not with.
Yeah.
Right.
Who had already gone to jail for assaulting people with knives. His diary said that he's already fixed stuff with his knife. It's the year of the knife. Admitted to or alluded to having the murder weapon. He was a chef. He worked with knives. He went to the Army Navy Academy, was taught how to fight with knives. And yeah, it was just a lot going on. But also the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So his father could be the same guy. They found a Nick cap that he always wore Nick caps. OJ didn't really wear Nick caps.
Right. They had a picture of him with the beanie cap on.
Yeah.
So it kind of that's the Bill Deer theory is what it is. It comes from the PI, Bill Deer, and then even the 2 guys that he has, Derek and Chris, they don't even believe him in the episode, really. If you watch at the end, they're like, I don't know if I believe this. These are the people that were with him, that are supposed to be working with him. They don't believe it.
Wow.
So there's a lot to it. We can touch upon it. I don't know how much I know a lot about it. They tried to drive it from his work. Like, he supposedly got off at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
They tried to drive over to Bundy. They couldn't really get there in time. So
I say that to say this. You gave us a story that I had never heard of in all my years of, knowing about the OJ case. Miami drug dealers.
Right.
People say that there's another. They said that there was a serial killer in the area at the time that could have done it. I had heard that.
That'd be quite the coincidence.
But you telling us about the Miami connection, I don't know if you want to tell the viewers at home that are listening right now about that story.
Well, of course. I mean, if we want to finish off the Jason thing and also the Glen Rogers, we can
Sure.
kind of get those out of the way first.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's important. And I'm not going to bash these people. They want me to debate some of these guys. I will debate them. I'm supposed to do it in a week or two. They can have their own theories. Okay. They're not investigators. I am. That's what I do. I solved the greatest murder case in history, and I'm not ashamed to say it anymore. I'm not going to be silenced by these people. Glen Rogers was not even in LA in 1994. He killed somebody in 1995. There's no photos of Glen Rogers with Nicole. All that stuff was made up. Also was made up by O.J. Simpson. You think Norman Pardo made it up. It's actually O.J. who made it up. He's caught in an interview doing it. So Norman took that from him. And also there's another guy, I won't say his name. He's close to the brother of Glen Rogers. Glen Rogers' brother wanted to come forward and say he did. Yeah, it's real convenient, and then they make a movie about it showing the movie wasn't actually that bad, to be honest. But
What movie? It was a
the
documentary?
murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, where they say Glen Rogers was a pain. Look, they can have their theories. I'm not going to try to smash on these people. What I'm saying is, the Glen Rogers, you get that out of the way. They tried to use this to sell books. And yeah, Glen Rogers, not OJ. No. I mean, his blood's mixed with Ron Goldman's blood in the Bronco, but he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So you got to get these people in the true crime space. Some are very cool. Some are completely batshit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say it. And you can find that Delphi, when we go to Delphi, that is a circus. Okay. But anyway, so now,
I agree. My biggest thing is the blood.
Yeah.
Can you please explain why OJ's
there's so
blood?
much more than that.
No, of course, but if you're gonna pick one thing to go on,
Mixed with Ron Goldman's blood. Not not next to it. Mixed.
But then you can say the police did it because they got caught planting evidence and,
right. Yes. He's absolutely, the sad thing is he's absolutely correct.
all right, it was Glen Rogers.
So, all right, moving on from Glen for a minute, because I don't want to say everything about him. So, Jason Simpson sounded sexy. He's got the hat. They find a knife. The knife's way too big. The knife Bill Deere shows up. It doesn't even match any of except one wound it would potentially match. But, and so that's something Bill worked. I have Bill's book. I read it. It's 500 pages of nonsense. I don't hate Bill Deere.
That's a lot of nonsense.
I don't hate Bill Deere. I tried to help him. I told him it was Charlie. I can say his last name if you guys want me to or not.
Hey, whatever you want to say.
I would. Everybody knows his name by now. But Bill said, "Oh, I looked into this, and I just don't think it's him." Oh, okay. You remember when OJ wrote a book called "If I Did It"?
Yep.
In the chapter 6, he said there was a guy named Charlie.
Yeah,
so
right.
What do you think? So why do you automatically write off? And then he goes in a Judith Regan interview. He goes, Charlie brought the knife, and Charlie followed this guy in. Charlie's in a panic. Well, who's Charlie?
Yeah.
So why do we? So, but anyway, from
I assume Charlie was his alter ego.
That's what people thought.
Yeah.
But the problem is, in 2017, Charlie came to a very good friend of mine, a producer, and goes, "I want to tell you a story." That's a problem. He actually said he was the guy too.
Oh, Jesus.
This is like with John Mark Carr in the John Bonet case.
But that was proven fake.
No, but exactly.
Right.
But the same thing can happen with high profile cases where someone says, "Hey,
Gary
I did
Oliva,
it."
John Bonet, Gary Oliva said he did it. Then
Yeah.
he gets out of jail and now he won't talk. Well, that's weird.
Right.
We actually got to talk to John Mark Carr. It's on our Patreon if anybody wants to go to it. Patreon.com/Death and Entertainment.
I mean, I can blow up John Bonet right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, give too much away, but he's kind of a strange guy.
Yeah.
Remember the fanfare with all the press about him? And it was like, everyone went crazy. Why? Because he said he did it?
Yeah.
Well, what happened when I said I know who killed John Bonet? Silence.
Because you were too right.
Right. That's the problem with the true crime. I get it. It's a big industry. There's a lot of podcasts. True crime is the biggest genre right now.
For sure.
We get it. So a fake story, sometimes to say Jason Simpson did it sounds better than saying Charlie Ehrlich did it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the paradigm is set. And look, I'll give Bill Deere credit. He did a good job of brainwashing people for 30 years. Okay. He did. And so did Norman Pardo over the last decade. And he made a pretty good, he actually made a good documentary, Who Killed Nicole. It's production value. It's not bad, but you have no idea. When these people all write me and go, Norman Pardo, Bill Deere, I just delete. Like, I can't even talk to him about it anymore, you know?
Now, if that theory, let's just stick with the Jason theory for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If OJ is in on that, he wants to protect his son, right?
Sure.
Okay, well, the hole in that one for me is that why wouldn't OJ then plead guilty?
Well,
why wouldn't he say, I did it, so that his son wouldn't be charged?
He wants to try to get off too. He wants his cake and eat it too.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, and he can't reveal Charlie either because he's there. OJ is the murderer.
Yeah.
OJ killed those two people, and he had help on Ron Goldman. I don't think Charlie helped kill Nicole Brown Simpson. I don't. The coroner said there were two morphologically different types of stab wounds on both victims. I don't believe that. I've looked at this autopsy. I'm not a doctor. I get it, but I believe it's only on Ron. I don't think Charlie would hit Nicole. I just don't. But I wasn't there. I don't know. But, you know, it's a shocking story, and you know, we can talk about other things about OJ. I'm not trying to slam Ehrlich the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, OJ died, which was suddenly and unexpectedly. I had an interview lined up, then he died. So it changed the whole like dynamic now. And if you guys notice these mafia stories online, have you seen these? The guys saying there were mobsters that were involved.
Yeah.
As the leak, they're starting to squeal. You see, they knew too. The mob guys knew this was a mafia thing.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to, they won't ID the guys because Joey Ippolito, but they won't. Joey died in 2006. And what year did O.J. Simpson write his book?
That was the same year.
2006.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So, oh wait, so that's the Miami theory. All right. So what's the Miami theory?
Yeah.
Joey Ippolito was a major cocaine smuggler, and Charlie was his ghost who worked for him. And these guys were born into the mob, and they met O.J. Simpson. Joey knew O.J. He knew A.C. Cowlings. A.C. If you look it up, there's published reports. Joey was calling Rockingham like 10 times. They had the phone records. Like, why does this guy keep calling Rockingham a couple weeks before the murders? He was on the run. So he sends Charlie to O.J.'s mansion as a cocaine extortion.
Wow.
They get money out of O.J., and O.J. flips out. All he had to do was pay it. He really did. Like, and I'm sorry that, you know, we're not trying to talk about a dead guy, but I gave O.J. chances. I gave Charlie chances, gave the media chances. It's over. Like, we're coming forward. It's done. And I don't care who really gets offended by it, but it was an extortion by Joey, and it went too far. O.J. took it too far. That's why his bags are packed on the bench. There's no Marcia Clark and Darden got this all wrong. There's no premeditation. He's chipping golf balls in his yard, and he tells you in his book, I saw a car go by and a guy came out and goes, "Hey, Juice." And he goes, "Oh, it's my friend Charlie, a guy I'd recently met." And he says the same thing in the Judith Regan interview. It's sick. Like, I know you guys are both in your heads. I know. Trust me, I have empathy for you because I mean, I can just,
no, but either way, no, I was thinking in either theory, I don't think there was premeditation. Even if OJ did it, it was a passionate crime.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, how is it that bad of luck that Ron Goldman doesn't even know her that well and is there to return her glasses and is just there for the one fucking time that some crazy shit goes down?
And
it's bad luck. Exactly.
I don't know if you guys are Christians or not.
Former.
Okay. And I'm, you know, let's stay secular here.
Yeah.
But I work a lot of cases. I see things that God does that you will never understand. Okay. Ever. Judita Brown dropped her glasses on the sidewalk outside Mezzaluna. The second those glasses hit the ground, Ron Goldman was dead.
Her sister.
The mom. They called her Judita.
Yeah, Judita. So Nicole's mom drops the glasses.
We were going to do a short video where we were going to show it. I had an investor who wanted to show the murders and show the glasses in slow motion falling to the ground, and then show like Ron Goldman smiling and seeing his life. He's dead. The second they hit the ground.
Yeah, that was his.
And Nicole asked him to bring it. And if you watch, there's a woman.
She did ask him. Oh, because she called.
Calls.
Yes.
And then she goes, "Can I talk to Ron?" She knows he's still there.
Yeah, because they sort of were flirty.
They were friends. They didn't know each other that well. I have some stuff about them that people can write.
But did they ever socialize outside of Mezzaluna? Oh, they did.
A couple times. And I have some secretive stuff that I can release at another time if people want to write me. I actually have the discovery file from O.J. Simpson, which no one's ever seen.
Huh.
Yeah. And I got a little lucky, and it took 3 years to get it, and no one has it. No civilian has it. Lawyers don't even have it. They've donated it to law libraries that you cannot get in.
Marsha Clark doesn't have this.
No. That's the property of LAPD and the LADA's office. She might have a copy buried in her closet. She ain't ever going to release it. She won't. She never would. I dare her to. I challenge them all to.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying is with Goldman, we can't always explain everything, and it's hard to fathom. Yes, and unfortunately, he went there to bring. Did he want to go there to see Nicole? Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. He was trying to get something going.
Young kid, good looking lady.
And we know that he was on that show Studs. He was trying to get into the business. So, yeah, that would be a great opportunity to network.
He was supposed to meet his friend Evan Tanner. Ron's birthday was coming up in July, I believe. And he was kind of dressed up. He had the white boots on, and he's a good looking kid, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the stuff I do was for Ron Goldman. Okay.
Right.
It's not, of course, I want justice for Nicole and closure and healing. But Ron, I felt like I connected more with Ron. And anyway, he showing up, and then whether OJ and Charlie are already inside, we're trying to still, Charlie didn't say too much about it, and I've never heard the full confession tape. I hope they release that. I do have access to segments of it, and I do hope they do, but I'm not in control of that. So we don't know if Goldman's already there and Nicole are already out by the gate, or OJ and Charlie come in, stalk the place, and then Goldman shows up. You feel me?
Yeah.
And she comes out, and they like hang back. It's this long walkway.
Yeah.
You can easily hide. It's very dark. They even talk about one of the lights was out. So it's 4 angry people in a small, dark space. And I don't think we could cover everything, but if you guys want to bring up anything or ask anything that I can answer, I will.
So Charlie is separate from like the Miami mobsters and the drug deal.
No, he is the Miami.
Oh, he is. Okay.
So continuing with that theory, the idea is OJ refused to pay them, and so then in retaliation,
he blames Nicole and Faye Resnick.
He tells the mobsters this.
He tells Charlie at the time.
Oh,
well, and they go, well, there's some other people that owe money too.
So why would they kill Ron Goldman and her then?
Well, okay, so all right. Well, give me your first part of the question.
Well, really, the question is,
you're saying two different.
Okay, if it's in retaliation for OJ not paying, do they kill?
No, it's not retaliation for not paying. Go ahead.
What is it then?
Well, okay. This thing is.
Well,
there
okay.
we go.
And if it is retaliation, why kill Nicole and Ron Goldman and not OJ?
So let's walk you through it real quick. Ready? And I kind of do this with people. Let's get into the POV of OJ Simpson.
Yes.
Ready? You're OJ.
All right.
You're OJ.
All right.
I thought I was OJ.
You're Jason.
No, you're
moves on fast.
You're both. You're both OJ.
Okay.
I come to you guys and I go, you owe me $50,000 in Coke money, but you don't really owe me money. I'm just gonna fuck with you because I'm in the mob.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Give me $50,000. You got $50,000? You're gonna get mad, right? You're starting to get a little mad, right? You're supposed to get on a plane in about 30 minutes, and you hate your ex-wife. And if I tell you some other shit about her and the other people that owe cocaine money too, is your ex-wife owes me money too. And so does Faye Resnick. And so does the guys from Mezzaluna. And they say the name of the guy that slept with Nicole that you watched through the window have sex. And you probably know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name because I actually like this guy a lot.
Kato.
No. Starts with a K, but you'll have to figure it out. This is the first guy that Nicole dated. So that sets you off because I just said the guy that slept with your ex-wife, you owe me a bunch of drug money. And if you don't pay it, you're fucked. So what are you going to do? You know what? Get in the Bronco. You know whose fault it is? You're going to tell me it's Nicole and Faye Resnick's fault. And we're going in the Bronco and get in. So I get in with you, but I don't want to. Follow me so far?
Mm-hmm.
And we drive over there and OJ's fucking pissed. And he puts on the burglar cap and he pulls the knife. Look at this knife. And he tells you in the book. And Charlie goes, put that shit away. What are you doing? You look like a psycho, right? Go in there and talk to her and give me the knife. And OJ tells you that in his Judith Regan interview. Okay. Still following me?
Uh-huh.
They're in the Bronco and they're in the alley. So Charlie brought the knife. That's why OJ tells you that. So when they go in there, supposedly OJ doesn't have a knife, but he sees them and they start arguing. And Charlie followed this guy in, and that's Ron Goldman. And he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And he got in this karate thing. And I said, "You think you could kick my ass?" And I remember I pushed Charlie out of the way. I grabbed the knife. I do remember that part, taking the knife from Charlie, and the rest, I don't know. Okay. That's the layout that OJ tells you how it happened. In reality, Ehrlich has his own knife. He's a mob coke dealer. You don't think he's carrying a knife or a gun on him?
Right.
And he went to extort a famous person. And supposedly there's another person with him.
So more than Charlie.
I cannot fully confirm or deny it, but OJ told his guard at Lovelock that 2 drug dealers came to his house on June 12th. And then he tried to retract it when he came out of jail. And the guy told me, I met him.
Wow.
And he put it in his book. It's called Guarding the Juice. So it's a really crazy story. And even when I tell it, sometimes, to be honest, guys, I don't even know if I believe what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
as I'm going down it, it's like I'm thinking to myself of all these other theories, but that's kind of from the tape, the confession, the screenplay that they wrote, all that you put it all together, the evidence, the bloody shoe prints, the blood, the hat in the Bronco, the paperboy cap. It's not OJ's. Is it Charlie's? Probably. Like, why did the jurors are looking at this board and this hat is sitting there. No one says, whose hat is that? Like, why are we staring at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that happening too, because he was paying her at least like $10,000 a month in child support too, and had to give her like $450,000 during the divorce proceedings too. And so I can see him being like, "You're getting this much money, and you're running up a tab with cocaine, and these guys are showing up to my fucking place," and being furious about that.
Now, he told his best friend, I won't say his name because I know things that'll make people's heads spin. He did tell his best friend 2 weeks before the murders that people came to Nicole asking for drug money. He told him that, and the guy told me. He knows OJ. He knew him.
Wow.
So wait, so OJ let it happen?
What I mean is
that what we're getting
dealers they're hitting everybody. Like, they're going even to Nicole. Okay. I don't know how much you guys study mob stuff. Do you guys know a lot about the mafia kind of?
A little bit.
They're not
as much as you, but I know Sammy the Bull, and
these guys are wizards. Okay. They're criminal geniuses, right? So they will set you up if they want to set you up.
They're very organized.
Yeah. And they have a lot of power, and they have more courage and don't give an F. So even if they come to you and you mouth off to them, you're dead. Like, what can you do when they show up?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? They live for that.
You can't
They
do
rather
anything.
beat you over the head with a fucking arm
Yeah.
than get with a girl. The guy said that. It's a funny line.
Right.
You know, like
So is that why in 2004, when OJ gave an interview not the If I Did It.
Okay.
He gave an interview on the 10th anniversary with Greta Van Susteren.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he says that he's mad at Nicole for the people that she was hanging out with at the end.
Here we go.
And that was very interesting to me because he was so guarded until then. And when he revealed that little nugget, I'm like, that's interesting. He's saying he's mad at Nicole because he couldn't even say he's sorry she's dead. He downplayed everything, even the Brown family, saying the kids don't even consider them aunts.
Yeah.
But then when it came to his opinion on that, it's like, whoa, like, I don't like, you're revealing something here.
I got a better one for you. So right after the acquittal, he does a Ross Becker interview, and he says, "Did anybody ask Faye Resnick who delivered her drugs the week of the murder? I thought this was the most investigated case of all time. Did anybody ask her where she got her drugs? They brought her to her stash. There was an intervention. Watch it. Ross Becker interview. Why is he saying drugs, Faye Resnick right after the acquittal? He wanted to tell you, but he can't because he did it. So he can't say like these mob guys. It's literally, somebody did a TikTok today. A friend of mine sent it to me. And I don't know if it was from you, who it was, where it's from. It says there'll never be another OJ Simpson ever. There'll never be that guy again. There'll never be a case like it ever again.
There won't.
Now that I throw cocaine and Charlie and Joey, now what happens?
Yeah.
You'll never see this shit again.
No.
Mm,
Never.
Well, first of all, things are a lot more recorded now
yeah.
True.
because they could even get a recording from a car passing by these days.
Well, there is a jailhouse recording. There was anyway of OJ admitting to it while he was awaiting trial, and a guard said he overheard it, and the person who was on the
Yes.
phone testified saying that he admitted to
That's
it
a
over the
funny
jail.
story.
Where the fuck is that recording?
You know what's funny is I think you're talking about, he says that to a priest. He's not really a priest. He was a famous football player. He's a big guy, forgot his name. And OJ said it to him, but because he was a reverend.
Oh, come on. Wow.
Rosie Greer.
Yes, Rosie
Right.
Greer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because the guy was sprinkled with fairy dust, man. Like he got everything. I mean, come on. Look at
Yeah,
wow.
that guy. And
Yeah.
that's funny you brought that up.
Crazy.
So that's how, and OJ with this polygraph test with the famous guy, and nobody could figure out if he took the test or didn't. Did he pass? Did he not?
Mm-hmm.
That OJ was a genius.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna say it. Dude, I know things about him that I cannot say today. Okay. I know things about Charlie I cannot say. Same things about Joey. I have gone on a 7-year journey, and even my family and people that know me very well, they worry for me because they know that in my head are things that they don't seem real. They're not real. And Natalie was like this too. I was knowing things, and it was, it's a shame.
It is crazy too that the entire defense team after the acquittal said that legal justice was done, but moral justice, maybe not so much. So they obviously know that, or at least think that OJ didn't do it, but morally, they know who did it and can't tell you. So the acquittal was legal justice, but not
right.
Not
or
moral.
they still think he did it,
and they're just lying.
No, but that's what Robert Kardashian said.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, based on the evidence, I would vote not guilty.
Right.
But that doesn't mean
Remember
that
his face when the acquittal came and he looked at
He
OJ?
literally, he was just like, whew.
He almost looked like he was shocked.
Yeah.
That's his best friend.
Right. And then he came out and said that he thinks OJ did it after that.
Yeah.
You have to give Kardashian a little bit of credit there for even making that face. Cochran hugs him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cochran's like, woohoo!
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that, like we said, that trial was over 10 months long. The pre-trial, there was just crazy with Furman stuff. There was you could never
Mark
get
Furman.
some of that stuff.
Did he plant evidence?
Yes, he did.
Why?
What evidence and why?
You guys are. How late you want to be here, man?
All right. Before we get to that,
am I sleeping on the couch? What are we doing?
Before we get to that, the murder itself.
Yes.
What's going down? Can you?
From what I think.
What do you like? Who's stabbing who?
You guys always call me super arrogant. I know. I get it.
Where's OJ?
Ego in the world.
Is OJ watching this? What's going on here?
Okay, my opinion.
Yeah.
Not not tell you the 10 different scenarios.
Yeah, your opinion.
My opinion, they both come through the back gate together. Both have knives. They come down there. Ron and Nicole are either outside already or they're stalking. They see the candles. They hear the music and the guy shows up. It's one of those two scenarios. That's it. So let's just broom forward.
Yeah.
They're both there. They're at the gate. They come out. What's going on, guys? What the hell? Why are you, OJ, why are you here? Fight, argument. Goldman's awkward. What's going on? What? He just shows up. It's that's why Robert Heidstra hears, hey. He hears Goldman right away, at 10:35, 10:38. It's quick. Okay. So, and then basically, I don't want to go into gory details. I think they slugged Nicole. I think she's knocked to the ground because OJ says she fell and hurt herself. Then they say she got hit in the top of the head with the butt of a knife.
Yeah, pistol whip with the knife.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, you can knock somebody out like that.
Yeah.
I think he whacks her. Just bam.
Yeah.
Goldman sees this. Now it's over.
Yeah, and he's fighting back.
Now they're dead.
It is crazy. His knuckles were so bruised, and OJ doesn't have anything on him aside from the cut finger.
Correct. And I do have a rebuttal for that. And this took me a long time to have this rebuttal, and people fly off the handle when I say it. But can I say it?
Sure.
He was cutting onions.
Yeah.
No. what I was going to say is this OJ thing with, oh, nobody punched him, nobody touched him, there's no bruising. I do believe Ron Goldman struck OJ Simpson in the face.
Mm.
And the reason I say he doesn't show it, go watch a UFC fight, go watch a boxing match. At the end of the boxing match, when the guy looks like he just stepped out of the beauty parlor, after he just got punched for 10 rounds, why is he not cut? Why is he not swollen? Not everybody swells. I learned this from another fighter guy, a boxer guy helped me do this too. He goes, I could punch some guys in the face and they just nothing.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, I think OJ's hit at least once. I just do. There's
Yeah.
no way he's not. If Goldman has all the bruising and the abrasions, yeah, is he hitting Ehrlich? Probably. There's blood on the steering wheel that doesn't match anyone. There's blood at the crime scene that they say doesn't match OJ, Ron, or Nicole. Is Charlie bleeding? Maybe. When they had the keys to the car, to Andrea Scott's car, who Ron Goldman borrowed, who he was sort of dating her and still like Nicole and like this other girl, he was like all over. The cops go, here's your keys back. And she looks at him and there's blood on them.
Oh my God.
And she's like, why are you giving them back? Well, we just figure you want to take the keys and get your car back.
What
There's
the
blood
fuck?
on the keys. People thought he punched with the keys in his hand.
So what?
Ah.
Okay, what about OJ's blood?
What about it? It's at the crime scene.
No, but why so much of it?
Because he cuts his finger either as he's stabbing like this and he grabs her and he hits his finger, or what we also postulate too is if Ehrlich's stabbing too and they're both going, that Ehrlich hits him with the knife.
And then in the immediate aftermath, what happens?
After when
They're dead, OJ's standing there. He
dripping
sees the
blood.
two guys. What happens?
he's dripping blood, their bodies, they're going to walk out the back gate. Now, when OJ walks, the blood drips on the left side from his hand next to his shoe prints. That's why there's a drop of blood next to the steps as he walks away. He's bleeding. He's stuck. He's bleeding the next day. When they show his finger, when he sticks it out, you saw that picture?
Yeah.
It looks raw.
Yeah.
12 hours later.
Right.
They said he had his hand in a bag the whole flight to Chicago too,
Right.
so that people wouldn't see.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He actually flew to Chicago.
Nobody really saw it. Even Cato said he didn't see a bandage on him. Alan Park said he didn't see a bandage. He pulled, I don't know if he had his hand in his pocket. There's no blood in the limo. You don't find any blood in there.
Wow.
So anyway, when they walk out the back gate, now they both leave shoe prints and blood, both of them. There's 4 shoe prints by Charlie. They're a parallel line, 10.5 size. Dr. Henry Lee testifies under oath on tape that there's someone else there.
Wow.
Yes. And I have the photos of it from LAPD. And they go in the back and they start stripping their clothes, and OJ strips his clothes. And this is where Bill Deere got this no blood on the gas pedal and no blood on the brake. OJ is not wearing his shoes. So when he's in the car, the shoes, the clothes are all bundled, and Charlie's holding him on his lap in the passenger seat. That's why there's blood on the passenger floor, the seat, the console side, the headrest, and the outside of the passenger door. But you don't know that because that stuff wasn't harped on because Marcia Clark and Darden couldn't account for that. There's a lot of evidence. I'm telling you, there's blood in the back seat that nobody would talk about. Why is there blood in the back seat? Well, he might have put his hand. People fit. OJ stepped over the seat. That's why they said there was blood on the console. His knee hit it. Why is he stepping over the passenger seat?
And the gloves?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want me to sleep over.
Who did they belong to?
Well, they were saying that he lost his cap, so he's searching for it, and one of the gloves comes off. It's too dark. He can't find either of them. They're in a rush. They run.
The mobsters run.
Well,
OJ
whoever was there.
and Charlie. Let's not say multiple mobsters.
Yeah.
OJ and Charlie.
Yeah. That's the official account.
But
Not
why
with
did
Charlie,
he have the gloves to begin with?
He went.
OJ.
He knew some shit was about to go down.
Yeah.
So OJ put the gloves
Oh,
on
yeah.
because he knew shit was about to go down.
Yeah.
Okay, so even in this theory, he's
Why does
guilty.
he put a burglar cap on?
Like he's still guilty in this theory.
Yeah.
Even just wanting, like, okay,
Like
why
not
did he
being
put-
the one to actually have done it, he's still culpable.
He's in the Bronco putting on gloves and a burglar cap. That's why Charlie goes, "You look like a psycho."
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? That's
Yeah.
why OJ's beyond enraged.
Yeah.
He's ready to rock. Okay.
So at the very least, he's gonna beat up
he's
Nicole
gonna
and Ron.
beat they don't know Ron's there.
Yeah, right. They just ran into him.
I think they're going to scare Nicole. OJ says in his book, I looked at my watch. It was 10:03. That's the Paula Barbieri marker time. That's why he says 10:03. And I had just enough time to go read her the riot act. That's why he says that, because he's saying like, I'm going to go tell her, Charlie said you guys are hooking up with guys, and Charlie they hide the coke angle in the book. It's so much, man. It's so rich.
Wow.
But, yeah. So, but at the scene, getting away, there's no blood on the gas pedal on the brake because OJ's not wearing the shoes. They strip. And OJ tells you that in his book and in his interview. I don't know why I just started stripping my clothes.
And what about the Bruno Mali shoes?
Those are gone forever. Oh, back to the cap and okay. All right, let's do this for Mark Fuhrman's sake. And I know people love conspiracies and they love all this stuff. So I'm going to say this right now. Both gloves were at the crime scene.
They were not planted.
Hold on.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Both gloves, OJ loses both gloves and the hat at the crime scene. Now, your next question will be, well, what about the glove behind Rockingham?
What about the glove behind Rockingham?
Mark Fuhrman.
Ooh.
Go read the book Legacy of Deception by Steven Singular. And if you read that book, you will start to see what Mark Fuhrman was about, what Mark Fuhrman did.
Was that just his own racial?
The guy was like, dude, read his book. It's actually
Murder in Brentwood, right?
Yeah, it's actually well written. He's a better writer than me.
Oh,
I'll say it straight.
He
up.
seems like a smart guy when you see him talk.
Because crazy Ted Bundy was smart too.
Yeah,
and so was John Wayne Gacy. Ever see his interviews?
And they have that similar
talk.
Yeah,
and they have that similar kind of good looking but evil eyes. Go
watch these guys talk. Bundy, Gacy. That's why everyone's so enamored and fascinated with him. Paul Bernardo in Canada. Go listen to some of these guys. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
These people, God gives them, whether the devil or God gives it to them, they have some kind of gift. They can beat polygraphs. So polygraphs are hocus pocus.
Yeah.
And we say like, oh, he failed the he passed the polygraph.
Yeah.
Doesn't
mean a thing.
Yeah. If you're a complete sociopath, your blood pressure is not going to go up.
Exactly. They wrap things around your chest.
Yeah.
Like, are they reading your mind? I
right.
don't know what this does.
Yeah.
But getting to, I guess, OJ and Charlie, the hat and the two gloves, if we say are at the crime scene, remember Fuhrman points at the glove in the morning?
Yeah.
He's pointing at it, right?
He knew where it was exactly.
Well, that too. He's the first detective on the scene. So has 2 hours without Van Adder and Lang there. 2 hours.
Wow. 2 hours? Really?
He's there at 2 a.m. They show up at like 4:15. He is him and Brad Roberts and Ron Phillips, those three. Okay, know those names. Brad Roberts never testified. I have a statement from him in the discovery file that nobody's ever seen. Okay, they think that Brad Roberts and/or with Fuhrman went over and planted the glove. Now I don't know if they planted at 3 a.m. or they did it at 6 a.m. when Cato said there was an earthquake. I heard something behind my place. Where do they find the glove? Right where he said he heard the noise. So did Fuhrman, when he interviewed Cato Kalin, did he have it in the Bronco? Did Fuhrman put it in the Bronco first?
Right. And that's why the blood was there?
Well, not that part.
Okay.
But because they thought, oh, he rubbed the glove in the thing. Someone told Singular this.
Yeah.
And so he went, he rubbed the glove around in the Bronco and that, because Singular thought OJ was innocent. All these guys, they stick up for OJ. It's hard to explain. So, but did he take the glove with a stick? They call it the blood, the bag, and the stick. There's a stick found with blood on it. I have a photo of it by the Bronco, out of place. It's in the discovery file. Did he take the stick, walk to the back? Because only Fuhrman finds the glove. Guys, look what I found. Nobody finds it but him by himself.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like when you go golfing with somebody and they're like, "Oh, I found my ball over here," and like, you fucking liar.
They used to
And
do that.
Yeah.
He used to put the ball in his pocket.
Yeah,
And he would drop it, and the caddy would go along with it.
yeah,
I couldn't find my ball. It was in the hole already.
yeah. Hey, look at that.
So I'm just saying this because I don't have a ton of fans. I'm not a famous guy. I get it. But I'll tell you this. Mark Fuhrman planted the glove behind Rockingham. There you go. They both were actually at the crime scene.
Wow. Shannon's asking, why would OJ actually use the name Charlie in his book? Why not change the name?
Because he knows you'll say he'd never use his real name.
Yeah, because I mean, his whole thing was Charlie is a made up name.
Yeah.
That's what he said on the Fox interview.
It sounds like a made up name.
Right?
Yeah.
Charlie
Like
Company.
Marty, like the Invisible Bunny.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie don't surf.
Yeah.
Charlie is an army term, right? The enemy or Charlie Company.
Yeah.
So I think, and I talked
That's
to
right.
I talked to Pablo Fenges, the ghostwriter.
Yeah.
And it was a very contentious, quick conversation. He tried to hang up on me. And I said, you're going to listen to me right now, dude. And I called Barry Sheck. And my journey on this goes deeper than you probably think it does. I know all these people.
Wow.
And Pablo tried to hang up on me.
Was Barry Sheck paid off?
He was actually cool. No. He was a brilliant. That's why I did the closing argument. He was cool with me. He actually was like, well, the evidence showed somebody else. That's what he told me. Because I said, you said the finger scrapings under Nicole was a type B and it didn't match anyone. He goes, well, that's what it showed.
So
but let me tell you what Pablo said, because I can give you the.
Oh, yeah.
If that's okay. So,
sure. Yeah.
Of course.
You know, I'll interrupt whenever time I want.
Please.
I'm just kidding. I told Pablo, I go, you're not going to hang up on me, dude. Don't. And he goes, all right, what do you want? What do you want? I'm writing a screenplay. Leave me alone. You know, he kind of knew who I was, like, because I did this to a lot of people. You didn't say the name Charlie, did you? And you're gonna effing tell me, dude, right now. I swear to God, I'll blast you in the media. And he goes, OJ made up Charlie. OJ said to call him Charlie, not Pablo. Pablo didn't say, let's call him Charlie. He didn't just pull a name. OJ said, let's call him Charlie. That's why Pablo in his interview goes, so we said, let's call him Charlie. Yeah. He hid this.
What's OJ's motivation for that, of using the real name?
I think there's a video where Charlie's actually at the MN1 interview. I have a picture of it in my phone. Charlie is with OJ. They went on tour. And I think Charlie said, say my name.
But why?
Because he wants to play a game.
Okay, so this is that
make millions of dollars.
This is that narcissistic, sociopathic serial killer thing where they want credit suddenly.
Like they want the credit without saying the last name.
Right.
Yeah,
So
duper's delight.
Yeah.
That's what they call it when people are getting away with it and they just love it and they're putting it in your face.
Right.
And I think too, you know what I think too it does is when you say the word Charlie, you don't say like Mike, which could have been OJ's friend Mike Gilbert. You don't say Al, like Alan Cowlings. Let's just say Charlie, right? And Charlie sounds like Charlie. It's a term. It's not really.
It's true. It sounds like a made up name.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
absolutely.
And I didn't know that either, man. Trust me. I was the audience on this too. I don't say I'm like this genius investigator. I got lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, that they said, you need to meet this guy and you need to meet these producers. And Gary Webb was the same way, because my article just came out about Gary Webb in Covert Action Magazine. Throw that out there. Gary Webb was called out of the blue on the phone by a woman whose boyfriend was in jail on cocaine charges, and she ratted them all out. He picked up a phone. I picked up a phone call and they said, I want you to meet somebody. Okay. These stories sometimes find us. You see what I mean? I didn't know who Charlie was. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't read OJ's book.
You didn't?
No, not till I got the project.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's
okay. So in all three theories, the theory one, OJ did it in a fit of passion
by himself.
Mm-hmm. And then theory two, his son did it because he has a history with it, and OJ sort of helped him along.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the third theory with Charlie and
fourth theory, Glen Rogers.
Right. Well, Glen Rogers, I think, is the least credible. Yeah. That's just way too much happenstance, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we can throw that in there too. That's probably the only version where OJ comes off as somewhat innocent.
Right.
The Glen Rogers one. The rest, it's like Clue, where you have multiple endings, but they're still in OJ's version of the game Clue. He's kind of guilty in all the versions.
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought OJ was innocent. Even Donald Freed, a brilliant man, when he wrote his book Killing Time, he does not think OJ's guilty.
Wow.
If you read the book, he wrote it right away after the acquittal. He was researching it all. He's a brilliant man. I got to trade bars with him for a minute. He's older now. He didn't think OJ did it. He didn't. And Joe Bosco,
he didn't think he was there either.
He says there's an accomplice. He says there's two people there. He doesn't say OJ didn't do it. I'm saying is a lot of what he's trying to show you the evidence is that it's very possible OJ didn't do it. Okay.
Wow.
It's hard to explain. Read the book. It's called Killing Time. Okay. And he does these.
We got to write these titles down.
There's
Yeah.
40 books.
There's a lot of
so many books.
reading time. I got to get in.
But even Steven Singular didn't think OJ did it either. He argued with me online. Like he said no, even though he hated Furman and man.
All right, I have a game to play. Your own game. You're Marsha Clark.
Yeah.
And they say, Marsha, guess what? It's your lucky day. Let's say OJ is still alive too. This is very theoretical.
Okay.
You get to prosecute him again. They got rid of double jeopardy.
Yeah.
So what's OJ guilty of?
If I'm Marsha Clark,
Yeah, if you're the prosecutor.
you say there's no double jeopardy. and
Just
you can go
just
get
in
it
this
now.
fantasy
Yeah,
land,
no,
what do you think OJ is guilty of then legally
Yeah.
in this
Murder.
Charlie theory?
Murder.
So he still
Absolutely.
is involved in the murder.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He is a killer with
Yes.
Charlie.
Wow.
Because even though he didn't necessarily do all the stabbing.
He's doing most of it.
He is doing most
yeah,
of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I lost that in the
That's
story.
okay. I know.
He is doing most of the stabbing anyway.
Yeah. See what I was saying? It's gonna fuck with your head. Like it's the way I tell the story.
Yeah, it did fuck with my head because I thought he was kind of.
People say it's.
I thought he was like a passive.
No.
Like
this is what people do to me.
a conscientious observer.
No, they say you're having the natural reaction. They say the same thing. They're like, wait, did OJ do it or not? Like, because when I say Charlie, they remove OJ.
So they're all guilty of murder.
Charlie and OJ.
Just not necessarily in the
Guilty
first
of
degree.
Murder, first degree murder.
Charlie and OJ.
Yes, together.
And the third.
If there's a third person, we don't know. I can't fully confirm or deny.
Okay, but that would be first as well.
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
first degree murder.
All right, so they all did it basically.
Yes.
They all stabbed them,
Yes,
and
they do a cover up and all
Got it.
the tampering. You have many
All right.
charges. Yes.
I'm still like mystified about the defense lawyers saying legal justice was done, but moral justice wasn't.
Well, Shapiro seems to have thought he was guilty. I don't know, right?
Well, what are you trying to say? Clarify what you're saying, because I don't want to.
I just want to know what they fucking know.
Well, Shapiro,
Yeah.
Shapiro's big thing really was right after the verdict. He was saying that they shouldn't have played the race card. He didn't support that.
And the DNA testing at the time, I believe it's just blood types. It's not actual concrete DNA because
some DNA.
Okay.
There's some, but it's all mostly from blood. It's not touch DNA.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
So it's like, why can we not? I mean, I know the trial's over. Like, what's stopping us now from going back and confirming 100% that that's his hair in the knit cap, that's his blood?
Yeah. Do you know how many crimes?
1000%.
I'm sure you can think of a handful now where 40 years later they found one strand of hair, and now you can prove who killed
one problem.
Suzu Q on the country road.
The Golden State Killer, they caught him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not OJ?
There's one problem.
He's already been tried.
Well, no.
Well,
no,
that's
OJ
different.
said, you're saying about Charlie or
both actually,
okay,
but yeah,
here's the
Charlie.
problem, and it's an acronym, LAPD. How are you going to get the evidence? How are you going to test it?
Just go and knock on the door. Demand to
they're
see.
Let
gonna-
us in.
They're going to be like this. I already tried. I already met with them. But here's my point. There's a protective order signed by a judge in 1997. I have the paperwork. Only the DA's office can open the evidence, not the police.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, man, this is a cover up. This is a huge deal that you couldn't even imagine. I've been warned by people. I had a guy the other day who's close to one of the family members warn the shit out of me and won't stop calling me. Okay. Right now, today, just talk to this person. You open in something you don't want to get into. There's something bigger. They already know about you at the DA's office. They already know about you at LAPD.
How did OJ survive until cancer got him? Because if all these other theories are possibly true, don't you think somebody would have wanted to get rid of him? Because
he wasn't talking.
He wasn't talking.
Well,
have you ever heard of If I Did It?
I mean, yeah, but they think that was so farcical that they didn't take it seriously.
Right.
But that's still quite a risk.
You mean like why didn't Fred Goldman go put a 9mm?
Well, that's another issue. I'm talking about like Charlie, for example. I know
They were getting off on it.
I know, but come on.
OJ held it over Charlie's
Look
head.
at Epstein.
Yeah.
They didn't wait very long to get rid of him because he was going to start talking.
I'll tell you something.
Why weren't they afraid of OJ talking?
to rat out, you mean Charlie and
Yeah,
Joey Ippolito?
exactly.
Okay, well, here's the thing you need to know. Joey Ippolito stayed friends with O.J. Simpson all the way till he died. So they're all buddies. And guess what? When you're O.J. Simpson, you're the pariah of the world. Guess who a lot of your friends are? Scumbags.
For sure.
They're
for
not,
sure.
he's not hanging out with cool, nice people.
No.
So they're all in on it together.
As we saw in Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess who was in Vegas with him? Charlie Ehrlich.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He was involved in that one too. Charlie's like the Forrest Gump of the OJ case.
Yes, I'm sleeping over tonight.
Yeah.
I just met these guys officially in person.
Yeah.
I think I'm sleeping over.
We'll get the cot out.
There were 2 Charlies in Vegas. What a coincidence again. God, thank you. Charlie Cashmore and Charlie Ehrlich. Well, if somebody read OJ's book and did a little homework and saw there was a guy named Charlie a year ago in a Judith Regan interview, which was shelved for 12 years, nobody saw it. That's weird.
From the time of the book.
Yep. It was shelved by Rupert Murdoch for 12 years. Nobody saw it.
Why didn't they protect Judith Regan more?
She got fired.
Yes, she was completely destroyed
they
by
didn't
this.
know what she was doing. They thought she was like, I guess Rupert Murdoch didn't know Judith Regan was going to get OJ to confess to murdering them on national television.
I really disagreed with that because on the one hand, I'm sympathetic to people that thought it was just in poor taste.
Mm-hmm.
But the other part of me is like, well, she's actually, she might get to some kind of truth in this case. Like, why don't we just let her and him do their thing and see how it plays out instead of intervene and cancel the special? And
because the Goldmans went crazy and the sentiment of the public went crazy after they were getting hate mail. Like, if you air that thing, I'm never watching Fox again. So Rupert's like, kill it. They shred the book. They put it in
a man of
vault.
integrity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Rupert Murdoch.
Well, but I'm saying, but he now gets to save face by saying she's gone. Get rid of the book. HarperCollins owned the book. That's Fox. They put it in a vault, 1 copy. They shred all the copies. They shelved the interview. She's fired.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you saw that interview is because 2018. Now imagine me.
Didn't even know that you could see it till
Nobody
recently.
knew it existed.
Yeah, I thought they destroyed it.
And so,
Or that it buried. I thought it was, you know how there's lost media
right,
out there?
the lost
I thought it was part of that.
Well, look at this. What do you think I felt after I just had kind of met the producers and Charlie and the story? And a year later, this thing starts coming out. I'm like, wait, is Charlie coming forward? Because this is coming out. Did he know this was going to come out? Like, I didn't know. And then when I see it, can you imagine how dazed I am watching OJ say it? I'm like, why is he saying Charlie? Oh my God. They told me there's a guy. I didn't know Charlie's last name for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what his name was. I thought it was fake. I thought that was an alias.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was mind-blowing. And as you pointed out
I
earlier.
didn't sleep for 3 nights. I didn't understand it for 3 weeks. I didn't fully believe it for a year and a half. Wow. I'm not exaggerating. I didn't believe it for 1.5 years. So I started to meet people and talk to people.
I can't think of another example like If I Did It, that project.
The book and the interview was amazing. That interview is stunning, shocking, jaw-dropping when you really watch it. It's the greatest interview to me. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm so close to this. What did we get wrong? There's somebody else there.
And so it wasn't just about money. He was
going to get 10 million. They gave him like 500 grand up front. And then they did like some calculation, like you're going to make $10 million. The Goldmans went crazy.
The Goldmans, they're probably going to get 3/4 of that then.
They're not getting a dime. He had offshore bank accounts.
Yeah, but if everyone knows though that he was paid that, then he
didn't give the Goldmans
admit it.
Of the money he
I know that's disgusting.
Yeah, Fred Goldman, that's his name, right?
Yes.
He said he got like 120 grand, and that was it.
Awful.
Yeah.
They sold all the stuff too. They took his Heisman, they took the paintings, they took the all the stuff that was sold. They took the Bronco. They're trying to resell it now. It's in Tennessee. They're trying to get 1.5 million for it. That's AC's Bronco.
I'd like to get that and the Jane Mansfield car.
Yeah. The Death and Entertainment Museum on Hollywood Boulevard.
You got 1.5
coming soon. Anybody listening? You got a 1.5?
So yeah, OJ was, but then the Goldmans get the book and they release it anyway, and they hide the word "if."
Yeah.
So they hide it in the title.
Right.
It says, "I did it. Confessions of the Killer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book's pretty amazing, actually. Pablo did a good job. He's a good writer. It's pretty amazing. Chapter 6 will bend your mind.
I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger smash,
You
to
will-
be honest, because everybody consumed this court case at the time.
Mhm.
And it was as a nation, like I was in elementary school and they took us out of class for the verdict.
Right.
That's how huge this was. So finally you get a book where OJ is laying things out, and it didn't seem like people cared that much.
Because
Yeah.
it's hard to stomach too, right? You're reading
Right.
about, you know what's coming. In chapter 6, it's called The Night in Question.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's coming. And they don't talk gory about it. He just says, and then I don't remember. I blacked out. That's why she asked him, have you ever blacked out before? Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just that night.
I'm standing there and there's all sorts of stuff around. And she goes, what stuff? Blood. And he starts breaking out laughing. I know we got to back up again. I don't want people to think I'm a murderer.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, it's tough for me to say, if this is all
And you
hypothetical.
want to know how Charlie's real? I'll tell you really, really fast. Ready? In the very beginning, you guys at home and everyone can watch this.
Okay.
And she goes, Charlie, right? And he goes, this guy Charlie showed. And I forgot why he'd been by Nicole's house. But he said, I wouldn't believe what's going on over there. So I said, whatever's going on over there's got to stop.
Yeah.
So I'm broad stroking this. So we get in the Bronco and we go over. Right? And she goes, wait a minute, let's go do the details. And he goes, I'm not going to say the details. And he stops and he looks horrified
Damn.
because he wants to tell it to you a certain way. And she looks stunned too. If you really look at her face, when
Yeah.
she asks him about Charlie, she looks like she's on the moon. Like she doesn't know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why OJ is laughing and he busts out laughing. Charlie, and he's like, Charlie. He starts laughing because he knows he's got one up on you. You can't beat him. It's like comical. I've done that too in other things, like on some cases when people ask me, even Delphi, they ask me like questions about Delphi. I just start laughing because I'm like, man, if you have to ask me, you don't know the truth.
That
you know?
might be the only case more convoluted than this one.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Delphi today?
Yeah, we will.
Oh, they're going to love it.
Um,
I need to plug this in. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah,
If I
yeah.
can-
Oh, I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
Do you have your charger here?
I have a extension cord.
all right.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. We'll answer some questions here while you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, my thing was Shannon said they're no longer investigating, talking about the OJ case. But I mean, that's an interesting thing. They could reopen the case at any time since they never found the killer. And then they do this barrage of DNA evidence. It'd be once and for all, boom, we know exactly who was there because the Nick cap was there. That's
Yeah.
not something you could just set up. And I think they said there were 28 strands of hair. People were saying that it might have been dog hair, but I was reading recently that it was it matched a black male hair type. So
Huh.
who knows? And-
OJ knew.
Yeah. Anderson saying Norm Macdonald was railroaded, which is true. We actually just recorded that episode today. It'll be out. It'll be out tomorrow. Ben Kissel joined us in studio here, and yeah, we had a lot of fun talking about how he did get railroaded by Don Ohlmeyer and NBC for making too many jokes about O.J. Simpson.
Oh, Norm?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to make a statement about Norm.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Will you guys get mad if I rip his ass?
Not at all. Not at all.
I think what Norm did was disgusting.
What?
And
Kyle is shocked.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this real quick. And I actually think Norm's funny, but people used to send me all his videos and he was
Yeah.
obsessed with this.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's gross. I don't think it's funny at all.
But why?
And even Kim Kardashian to go up on Saturday Night Live, because I'm going to stick up for the victims. That's why.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so when
But
Kim-
that's what he was doing.
Yeah, he was pretty much doing that because he was
Well-
really going after OJ.
okay, but what? If he really wants to go after OJ, he can help bring some justice to the victims. I know he's a comedian. I get, everything's so funny in Hollywood.
Yeah.
These people drive me nuts, like with the fucking jokes. It's just like, oh, I'm all about laughing. And
Yeah.
it's like, anyway.
What choice did he have?
Kim Kardashian makes a joke in her SNL opening monologue. You guys want to take a stab at who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was your mother's friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the man who killed her father.
Yeah.
If you consider the fact that he died of cancer because he,
It
took such a toll on him.
Well, I'm just saying, for Kim Kardashian to go up there and make jokes, that's insane.
No, I agree, but really though, I also mean figuratively killed her father, because Robert Kardashian was completely destroyed by this case. So yeah, that is interesting that Kim, his daughter, would make such light of it.
And I guarantee you the SNL writers egged her on, and I bet you
Oh,
they
for
wrote
sure.
the jokes for her. I don't find it funny. I'm sorry.
I thought she had more integrity than that.
Why do you need to go there? No, seriously, right?
Yeah.
Why do you even need to go there?
Because the Kardashians will sell whatever they need to sell for publicity.
For sure.
But Norm, I want to know, what choice did Norm have? That was
how many
a huge
years did
story.
he do that? How many years did he keep doing that? Many years. If he told a couple jokes,
like
cool.
3 years.
Yeah, it's 3 years. Yeah.
But it was like nonstop. And people write me and they show me the videos. And I'm just like, look, I'm not going to bash on your heroes. I'm just saying, like, look, you have to understand something about me. Okay. You guys know me a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
Right.
Okay. If someone's messing with the victims on my case, I will rip your face off.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're Hollywood, it's even easier for me to come after you.
But what if his jokes were to call attention to the fact that there are victims in this case and he got away with it, in his opinion?
Yeah.
I just don't see how you use humor in a murder case. But like I said, I'm not.
That's our podcast. You're in the wrong place.
I'm not sleeping.
We can find humor in every case.
Yeah. Yeah, because he would always just go after OJ. It wasn't really making fun. Other than at the ESPYs when he's like, Charles Woodson, you have a Heisman, nobody can ever take that from you unless you kill your wife and a waiter.
and look, I even laughed.
Yeah, you did laugh.
I'm not saying he's a genius guy.
Yeah.
I take these things pretty personal. It's like no one jokes about Delphi. I mean, you don't really see
jokes
about Delphi.
Well, actually,
yeah.
Oh, let me see. Maybe
segue.
No. Maybe later.
Killer Delphi jokes.
I sort of do actually, but it's not what you think.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to get mad at these because these people will go insane.
Yeah.
No. I'll get into it later.
Yeah. Shannon's asking a specific question. She said, Chris, in your book, you mentioned the Mickey Mouse Mafia. Is that in reference to the SoCal mob?
The Mickey Mouse Mafia, that is a very interesting question. And I don't know if that person knows me or not, but you know what's really funny is I used to call them the Mickey Mouse Mafia. And I don't know if that person knows something about me.
I think she read at least one of your books.
Yeah, and I didn't know that much about the mob. They called the LA crime family. They used to refer to some of them as the Mickey Mouse Mafia, partly because they extorted Hollywood people, right? Okay, this is Dragna. Louis Dragna and Tom Dragna, their name, I think was their name. Jimmy Fratiano, the Weasel. This was the LA crime family.
The Weasel, not the Weasel.
So what I'm getting at is I had to move away from calling them the Mickey Mouse Mafia. And that was part of the research that I did, and that kept popping up. So it's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
So you could joke and say, the LA crime family, remember that families weren't here in LA. They're in New York. They're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right. They're not in LA.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys in LA were from the outfit. Johnny Rosselli, who was part of the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fratiano. These guys were from the outfit. They came to LA. They went to Vegas. And so they used to refer to some of them as the Mickey Mouse Mafia. And they also felt like they weren't one of the families. So they were kind of like fly by the seat of their pants. They weren't so established like Capone and, the Bonanos and the Lucchese.
Yeah.
Interesting question.
Nice. Yeah. So do we have anything else to cover on OJ?
Any last words on OJ?
Well, there's a lot of stuff happening now. I think the truth can come out. They're talking about mob guys at the scene. People are starting to leak stuff. I don't need to be the one to do it. I hope someone does it. I hope someone comes forward. I don't think Charlie needs to go to jail. I don't think they'll ever reopen the case. Okay.
He shouldn't go to jail.
I have a long relationship with him. He'll deny he knows me, says a bunch of crazy shit about me.
But you don't think he deserves jail time?
He said I have to go to psychiatry. He said I'm crazy and that I have to go to have therapy.
Maybe he meant that as a friend.
Yeah.
Never reopen the case. So what I'm saying is he'll never be arrested. I think if he came forward and said, I was there and I'm sorry, cleanse your soul before you go to hell. Just get it off your chest. Cops aren't going to arrest. What are they going to arrest you for? You're going to go get Jose Baez as your attorney or Mark Garagos, and they're going to go, hey, ready? I have a subpoena for the LA DA's office, the Mark Furman tapes. Can you bring those out? I need them all. I need everything. You think they're going to say, yeah, let's play the Mark Furman tapes? No, there's no way. So I've done that I do this for the victims. I hope Ron and Nicole get justice and the truth comes out. And I thank you guys for allowing me to talk about this case.
Yeah, absolutely. Came up in the news that there was some hearings in the Delphi case recently. If anybody doesn't remember, there were two girls, Libby German and Abby Williams. They were both killed in Delphi, Indiana, in the woods when they caught their killer on Snapchat just before they were dragged to their death and killed. The guy that has taken the fall for it has said that he is being harassed and set up by an Odinist cult, and the people who are watching him in prison are actual Odinists as well, which his lawyers have actually confirmed that these prison guards do have Odinist tattoos. It has come out that he has been not only eating paper, that was one thing. He's been in a bout of psychosis in prison, awaiting trial, and he's been eating his feces and covering himself in it.
I saw that. Did you read that?
As well? Yeah.
Oh, is that an Odinist thing?
Yeah. Well, this is it's actually unprecedented that he is actually in prison right now instead of the local jail. He has been thrown into solitary confinement, and that alone has made people go into psychosis. So they are saying he is wilding out
for Delphi, dude.
Yeah,
seriously, the people. But go on.
Yeah, that's pretty much my biggest update, is that they're saying he is really not doing well. He has filed a motion to suppress his confessions that were to other prisoners and on the jailhouse phone calls to his wife. But he said that he wants to suppress that information, even though he didn't get right what he confessed to. He said he shot them both in the back and he molested both of them. They found none of his DNA on the girls' bodies, and they weren't shot. They were stabbed, as far as we know. But they said that everything he said he did is not true and not a fact of the case anyway.
And imagine you're his attorneys and your guys saying this stuff to people. Like, you're like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you confessing to your mom? Why are you saying things to the prison guards? And then the lawyers have to scramble and go, well, he's coerced. They're Nazis over there at the thing. And they got the patch and the eye tattoo and the dude.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know so much about the Delphi case. It's good and it's bad. So I'm going to let you guys kind of just, I don't want to dominate the thing.
Well, you wrote a book on it,
Delphi, that will make you throw up.
Yeah.
Right? So
you wrote a book on it. I actually went and visited the bridge and the crime scene.
You did
over the summer. Yeah. And it was so apparent that whoever did this to these girls knew exactly where they were going and what they were doing.
Okay.
Because when you go to the bridge, obviously you can take a left off the bridge or you can take a right. If you take a right, it forces you right back to where the trail is, so everyone would see and hear what was going on. To the left, that is completely on its own, and the only person that owns any land over there is Ron Logan,
right? Who
you actually wrote the book about.
Correct.
Because that's your...
I wrote the first book on Delphi.
Yeah, and you have him pegged as the actual
bridge guy,
perpetrator. Yeah.
And his ex-girl, or it was ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
She came out recently saying he was quite a bad guy.
Womanizer, beat her up.
Well, now we'll get into Richard Allen, but I mean, I think Richard Allen's guilty. I'm going to say.
You think he's a part of it?
Yes, I do. I think
Okay.
they did it together. I can tie them together. I know they knew each other. People don't think I can. I can.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff. Look, there's no DNA. We had Leo whistleblowers. It is weird. This is a very strange case. And that's why there's so many podcasters. There's about 50 of them.
Yeah.
Over the pond. They're in Australia. They're in England. They're in Ireland. They're everywhere. This is a baffling case. And we'll get into it. But
are the whistleblower documents that you have, are those
they used mine
public?
CW. They used them without my permission.
Are those public?
They're public because, well, I have to say this per my lawyer. The documents were leaked by a source.
Okay.
The crime scene photos that people probably wanted to kick my door in, I will not comment on those. But I will say I am not the one who leaked the crime scene photos. Okay. I do know the source that did leak the clothing pictures, but those were not police property. The searchers found the girls, not the police.
Yes.
So I will say that gently.
Yeah. One of the girls' uncles was one of the people that helped find. Yeah.
I'll say that there was a search party and there was a lot of contention about who found them, and the families lied about who found them. The people in Delphi, I may write a new book called The Sins of Delphi that will talk about the people surrounding this case from the town itself and the people online.
Like a cover up?
Well, you guys lead this one. This is the big one. This is the biggest child murder case in the country.
Yeah.
The trial's coming in about 4 weeks. The beginning of the trial is happening. These people will come after you. A guy called the police on me and said I was suicidal. And the police tried to come to my house, swatting call.
Oh, geez.
Police tried to come to my house. I had to get the FBI involved.
Oh, my.
Okay. And I'm not going to say names of the people. They say my name all the time and they think they're outing me, and they say my real name. Like, nobody knows my real name. Like, gosh, dude. It's like, you can get
it's Chris.
Yeah, it's Chris.
Cyber LA is asking, what about the branches placed on their bodies in the shape of a cross, triangle, and sun, indicating some type of ritual? Well, the rumors were that it was almost like antlers on a girl's head. We don't actually know. I don't believe.
That's so disturbing.
Unless you've seen the photos, which I have not. I've only seen the closed photos. And then I saw one that got leaked that had the blood on the tree that kind of looked like a rune.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it. I mean, let's just dive into that.
Yeah,
sure.
This is something everyone wants to talk about.
Oh yeah, we have talked about this before. So yeah, this is perfect.
All right. So I'll say this first thing. A guy committed suicide over this.
Yeah.
And I knew him partly. I know other people that knew him. His death will not be in vain. He challenged me on a couple things. He asked me about the sticks, and I knew he knew something. I didn't know what he was talking about. He wrote me a couple times. Okay. I won't say his name because everybody goes crazy. Like when you say some of these people's names.
Well, it's out there too.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah. But let's just say, the judge was upset that he committed suicide. Nick McClellan was too. And I feel for these people. I'm not like a Nick McClellan hater.
Yeah.
I'm not a judge hater. These people are like threatening the judges and the lawyers. I'm like, dude, you guys better be careful. You guys got to stop. I'm serious. Like, you got to stop doing that. Just worry about, you want justice for Abby and Libby, then solve it. Figure out. If you don't think Logan's BG, then if you think it's Richard Allen, then prove it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, the judge is silencing me. Like in this, they don't care who you are. They don't. You guys are not investigators.
Yeah.
Okay. You're entertaining. Yes. I watch you guys all the time. Even the people that I hate, I watch them because they have information. So anyway, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. So when he said to me months before he passed away, he kept saying the sticks, Chris, you don't get it. You don't get it. And now hindsight's 2020, he had the photos. He had the discovery.
Yeah. And he's the one that was sending them out to different podcasters and stuff.
No one even knows how they did it. There's Mitch Westerman, who could say his name. He's going to trial. That's happening. I don't know when that's happening.
Yeah.
Mitch Westerman is potentially looking at jail time. He's the one that gave them supposedly to, we'll say, our guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And from there were other people that were given them, and it was really hard to track like how it went out. And I had some very inside angles on this too, but I will be really honest with you, man. I couldn't figure it out either.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Right.
But I'll say this, and I've said this before, poker table, poker game, show one, show all. These people are holding these pictures hostage. There's about 15 of these people that actually have the 4 or 5 crime scene body photos, and they are going back and forth with each other, but they're not showing the public. What's up? What is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's breaking the law, I guess, to send it to anybody else, risking that.
But they're sending it to each other. So how are they? I don't get it. And I'm not blaming the police. I stick up for a lot of the law enforcement in the country when I work cases, and everybody knows that I do.
Right.
But I'm just show one, show all. If you guys have them and you're not the cops and you're not the judge and you're not the lawyers, and you guys go on your podcast and go, I've seen the photos. Let me tell you. So she's laying like this, and why can't we see them? If you guys all have them, then what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why isn't it on Reddit? Well, they did. A guy, I guess, put it on Reddit. They ripped his page. His YouTube's gone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Damn.
It's gone. So
What did they mean at the press conference when he's like, "Oh, we got a break in this story, or we have a surprise for everyone"?
which one? There's like 9.
Kyle, help me out.
What'd you say?
The
Or
press
at the beginning?
conference by the cops that were teasing.
The second, the second sketch.
Okay, so like in 2019,
Yeah.
like a couple years after.
But why are they acting so coy like that?
Yeah, they were asking.
You got a sleeping bag?
Yeah.
Like,
We're gonna pull out the sofa
you gotta
bed.
call
Don't worry.
Wilson.
Yeah, the police superintendent.
Not
We'll
coming
order-
home tonight, honey.
Yeah.
We'll order some pizza.
Yeah.
The cops. Okay, you can say your thing. I have the answer that I think, but
Yeah, he said he was asked, Doug Carter, the police superintendent of Indiana. They were saying, we had this first old grizzled guy with the scally cap as, sketch number 1. And now all of a sudden you're telling us it's this young guy with curly hair. And can you tell us if this is a different person or what's going on with this new sketch? And he just looks and he goes, well, isn't that something? And smiles. We didn't know until it actually just came out in one of the motions like a month or 2 ago that they're saying the original witness who saw people said one of them looked like this and the other one looked like this. So there's 2 people out
that's
there.
a problem.
That's a major problem. And one of them's really young looking. So
Do you see
what
that
is going on?
Sketch looks like someone drew it in kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's not. The first sketch is detailed. It's like a pencil sketch.
Right.
It's like you could see the hair and the goatee. The second one looks like.
By the way, that's what I was talking about, where you could find a little humor in this case, because the sketches were so bizarre. Look at this one.
Yeah.
Oh no,
The Hannah Gutierrez.
no, what happened?
She has a modeling career. You just ruined it.
Yeah.
That's our last story.
You have,
No,
yeah.
I let me pull it up. I had the picture, but it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, that sketch is comical. Like
It is, right?
yeah,
Like,
and for the police to put it out and be like, "Here's the news," just don't even put it out, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Seriously,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's not even. That's another sketch you're showing. I don't even think that's the right one.
These are the
There's another-
2 official ones that
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
out.
there you go.
No, there's another one too. I don't know. I think there's actually another sketch besides the one on the right. I think there's a different one too.
It's just so
But that one
bizarre
actually looks decent.
when you look
Yeah.
at Ron Logan. Why is there?
Look
Why?
at
Why do they have a kid from Newsies here? Like,
Yeah.
how is he involved?
the Lois Gibson did a report for the prosecutor's office. It's online. People, I can say it now. People couldn't say it at first. She has the world record for the most convictions using sketching, photographs, anything visual. She does, like when people say what you saw,
Yeah.
right? And she matches it. She has the most convictions of all time.
Wow.
So they ask her, and I have firsthand knowledge of this too. They ask her to do it with Ron Logan, to take his photos of him walking his dog with the pictures of the bridge guy. You can
Wow.
go online and find it. And also I have access where I can find it too. Okay.
Yeah.
And she writes out the report and she lays them over each other and she does like a grading. So it starts with like Ron Logan walking the dog, right? And then it starts to just shade over and it ends with Bridge Guy.
Yeah.
And they just line up like exactly.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
she says in a report, I can't fully guarantee this, right?
Mhm.
But in my opinion, that is Ron Logan.
Mm.
That's it. It says it in 2-page report. Nobody ever saw this report until someone leaked it.
Right.
Why are they holding it back? And guess what? Now we're finding out this is insane. Okay, the Ron Logan search warrant comes out in May and the murder sheet stamps their name all over it like they just bought it or whatever.
Yeah.
The rumor is that Ron Logan gave it to him. And that's in the court documents, says that one of the cops said that murder sheet got it from Ron Logan.
Wow.
Now, I did some research too, and I actually asked around and they said the lawyer gave it to Murder Sheet, but that's up for Murder Sheet to say. I'm not going to bash them. I'm not very close with them.
Right.
They can do what they want. They stuck their name on it, like stamped it,
Yeah.
you know? So, and why, but my point is, why'd they hide that search warrant? Where was it? Why did it take 5 years for someone to see it?
Yeah.
I thought we're trying to find the killer.
But are these by design completely inaccurate, these sketches? Or
Okay, these are meant to look like, and there's differing people that they'll say they're meant to look like. Daniel Nations, I believe, was one of the names. They tried to make him.
I think it looks
Kevin
like
Pollak did it.
I want to know what Kevin Pollak
Where was Kevin Pollak?
on that day.
February. So this was meant to look like a criminal. This is what the Leos said. They said that was meant to look like someone they thought did it, who's like a child sex felon, and they made it look like that person to have people come out and go, "That's him." Now here's the problem: why aren't you looking at Ron Logan right away? Why? It's his property.
Yeah.
He's in the same hat and the coat and the jeans. He has the same limp in the leg.
It
His
certainly
voice
looks,
is the
yes.
same.
That
Yeah.
video, the
Dude.
Snapchat video, that's Ron Logan.
Right.
He doesn't have his glasses on. This is what confused people. So when you look at BG, right, he's not wearing glasses. Ron Logan always kind of wore them
Yeah.
in the interviews. And if you notice, when they interview Ron Logan at first, he doesn't know they have a video of him. So he's wearing the hat and the jacket.
Yeah.
He finds out next time, right, the next day, now he's in a red shirt and jeans.
Yep.
Right? So
Crazy.
it's he was a sick dude.
Yeah.
Okay. And we call them the Logan lovers, the people that stick up for Logan all the time. They
Mhm.
want to do a debate, do it. I've challenged all of them. They say a bunch of nasty stuff about me, then debate me about it.
Yeah.
You guys keep running your mouth and do something about it and say it. And then the 3 guys write the letter to the judge, like she gives a shit what you guys have to say.
Right.
And do you see those letters? Did you read those? You should look those.
I haven't seen the letters.
Oh my
No.
God. They're actually well written. I'll give the guys credit. I won't say their names. And they're accusing each other of like helping the prosecution. They're helping the defense team. Dude, you don't know where these people are coming from, man. Like, do they think Richard Allen is guilty? Do they think he's innocent? I can't even tell. I mean, I know some of the people, they hate the judge and they hate the lawyers so much. They want Richard Allen to get off.
Wow.
Okay. And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. I know that the cell phone pinging the tower near the crime scene is a big thing too. He admitted to having his phone on him, but also the whole town is literally like 2 miles. It's not even, it's
There's
tiny,
3,000 people in the whole town.
tiny. So even if he was home, he would be pinging the same cell tower. If he was like over the town line in the next town, it would still ping that same one. So that to me, there's a lot of weird things going on with this.
I will say this, which is important to see my journey on this, just super briefly.
Yeah.
Is when I learned about it, because I'm a big news guy. I read every freaking news article. I know everything that's going on pretty much. When the murder happened, I was, oh, this is sad. 2 girls. This is a bummer. They had a picture. I'm like, it's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
This is daytime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got the photo. Then the video comes out. Now, for me, I didn't first jump on the case. I wanted to, but I didn't because I go, they'll find who it is.
Right.
This is a tiny town. I'm like, You have the guy's voice down the hill, go down the hill. Actually, at first they released go down the hill. Now they only release down the hill. Then
Yeah.
it was guys down the hill.
Yes.
So they kept changing, and so I thought they'd figured out. A year goes by, they don't arrest anybody. And so I wrote one of the moms. And that's how I started. I go, I'll help you if you want. She goes, yeah, I'd like your help. I said, I'll help you for free.
Yeah.
And because I was like stunned, I'm like, and then I go down for like a year and a half because I got frustrated. I said it was Logan. They all went crazy. The cops said no. The families, he was cleared. They didn't want to listen to me. So I was like, okay. So I walk away, had OJ and Aaron Hernandez if we do that again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got that coming up.
But and so I was doing other cases. And then in May 2022, the Ron Logan search warrant comes out and I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
And I had an assistant working for me at the time, calls me at 6 a.m. You need to see this. You need to read this. What? I'm done with Delphi. No,
Yeah.
you need to read this right now. It's insane. The case.
How long did it go on before Ron Logan was arrested?
5 years.
No.
Richard Allen, you mean?
No,
Richard Allen.
Ron Logan.
Was never arrested.
he was never
Or
arrested.
questioned.
He was the first suspect.
Yeah, so that
never
was
publicly said
immediate.
it, though.
Sort of.
Yeah.
suspect.
So when did we learn about him first?
I mean, it started asking him questions.
But
The
they
news
didn't
showed up in
search
his front
his
doorstep
house,
the
though.
first day.
But they
Yeah.
didn't search his house for 30 days.
Yes.
They didn't take
Okay.
his phone. They didn't search him at all.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a The reporter asked one of the state troopers, ISP, what about Ron Logan? He just flies right over his head. Well, we had already looked at him. No, you didn't. You didn't look at him at all.
Yeah.
They tow his car away and they say he's a drunk driver. And sorry, I'm yelling. He's a
No,
drunk
you're good.
No, I mean, this
It's-
case
it's better.
is frustrating.
He's a drunk driver. So they tow his car away. It looks like he's guilty. They say they take his teeth away, like he had dentures.
Yeah.
He's nude in the cell.
Oh,
So they think he's like
You're gonna make
he's gonna
me
talk.
vomit.
Yeah.
So I told you. They think
Right,
he's gonna,
just Ron Logan is such
but
a.
they thought he would talk. So they
Yeah.
thought they had him, and it looked like they did. He's in the orange jumpsuit. He's walking around.
Right.
He never confessed, and they let him out. And then after that, he lives his life for like 3 years. They lie about when he died. They say he dies in 2020. He does not. I can prove it.
What?
Wait, when did he die?
The
Then?
media lied and said he died in 2020.
Of
He died in
COVID.
2022.
What?
In 2022.
Yes.
Maybe he's the one that was chasing me around.
That probably was his son.
Yes. Yeah. Because it said I looked at his deed to his house and it hasn't been sold. So the
That's
only
his
people
son.
there are either renters or his family.
It's probably his son, or there could be some. He might have moved because there's so everyone goes there and walks this property.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the cemetery next to it because that's where
Uh-huh.
the GPS brings you.
Yeah.
And then you can see his property line right there. And then when I came out of the cemetery, I looked right and I was like, oh shit, that's his house. And that's when I drove by. You
Did
see
you
the
walk under the bridge? Did you go
under?
down?
No, it's
Okay.
too, it was way too treacherous.
Okay.
It was rainy out that day.
Okay.
But I walked to the middle of the bridge and they have a barrier now.
Yeah, they did.
So I didn't go on the other side of the barrier, but it was very,
You just have to look at it as that. Look, I'm not God. I can't say 150% Ron Logan is bridge guy. Okay. Through my opinion,
I can.
okay. Through my opinion, through my investigation, I opine bridge guy is Ron Logan. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. If
Yeah.
they say it's Richard Allen in the trial, good for them.
yeah.
They want to go for that. The difference in their height is a lot. okay?
Yes, big time.
It's a big difference.
He's a tiny, tiny guy.
Richard
Yeah.
Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ron Logan was like 6'1".
That's Ron Logan.
Yeah. Who knows? They're saying it could have been another guy, Paul Etter, that blew his own head off.
What?
They have a lot of guys. There's a lot of names.
In 2019, I didn't even cover this one on the podcast because there's been so many theories. July 23rd, 2019, CBS News says, man who committed suicide in Indiana police standoff, also a possible suspect in Delphi murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. He was a sexual assault suspect who killed himself during a standoff with police in central Indiana last month. He's been considered a possible suspect in the murders.
Was he the one that committed a crazy crime? Was that the guy?
Yeah.
Crime at
He
a
kidnapped a
store?
woman.
Okay. Well, there's somebody, and the media. We should talk about the Indianapolis media,
Yeah.
but we'll see if we get to that.
But wait.
Yeah.
Why did they lie about Ron Logan's death?
The media on this case, the Indianapolis media, are some of the biggest buffoons I've ever met in any case I've ever worked. They battled me, would not let me say Ron Logan's name to any interviews, to any people. Those reporters are the worst. And I am not afraid to say it. I know them all personally, literally all of them. They all know who I am.
Yeah.
And I put them in my book. I didn't say their names. I call one an ex-beauty queen who's a wannabe reporter. Old man who called me some guy. He told me I was just some
The
guy.
nerve.
Yeah. But when I said it's Ron Logan, he goes, "You're just some guy." Oh, I'm some guy? Did you ever see O.J. Simpson? Did you ever see what I did on the greatest murder case in human modern history?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm some guy, dude.
Right.
Like, and so
He was trying to diminish
they're
your.
awful people.
Yeah.
They're awful. And so, look, I'm not saying they're deliberately lying, but they kept printing these things like Ron Logan died in 2020. They even said it on News Nation. They didn't even have the dude. I'm telling you, this case.
Wait, but
blow your
hold on though. Was it announced that he was dead in
It is
2020?
written. No, he is alive.
Because that didn't. No, but what did they announce? That the media cover?
Like when Logan was dead, after he dies in 2022, when they start writing the stories about the search warrant came out, okay, and the case starts to spin out of control, they refer to Ron Logan dying in 2020 instead of saying he died in 2022. Whether it's a typo, whatever you want to look at it.
I mean, that's a big difference.
They don't do it all the time. There's like a couple reports where they say he died in 2020. Even a news reporter had said it.
So are you saying this is possibly just bad reporting
Yeah,
then?
it's bad. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like a cover up. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he died in 20. I'm saying they don't even have the dates right. Like,
Got it.
Right.
you know, and then they do the Keg and Klein thing. And if we say that, everyone's going to go crazy.
That to me is crazy that he wanted to meet up with the girls.
We don't know if that's actually true.
Okay.
Okay. But you can go on.
Yeah. So that's been part of the media's story is that, Anthony Stotts
fed them that.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Leo whistleblower said that Keg and Klein never spoke to them at all.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. And if you read Keg and Klein's interview, it's 190 pages. He keeps saying, no, I didn't know him. F you. I don't know him. Well, you said you wanted to meet him. Well, I didn't say that. I never said that. Like he kept saying, he denies it.
Yeah.
I think he was being a jerk because he's a scumbag. He
Yeah.
gets off the cameras as he gets 40 years.
Right.
He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think what he did was
He's a child predator.
yeah, I think what he did, he said to royal them. I think he said like, oh, they're like, one of our friends just died that you liked her picture. Supposedly he liked a photo
Okay.
Yeah.
or something. And he's like, oh, I was supposed to meet with him.
Yeah.
Like that's the story. So it's kind of like him being a total scumbag.
Yeah.
And dude, everybody knows that when they got off Ron Logan, they needed a fall guy. They needed somebody. They did look at Keg and Klein. The cops did a good job in the beginning. They actually interviewed a lot of people
Yeah.
in the beginning. They did. Even those Odinists, they actually interviewed a couple of them
Yeah.
very early on. So they knew, they're not like totally off. But once they got off Ron Logan, they started to look. They had to grab Tony Klein, Keg and Klein. They started to those people should sue them.
Mm.
Like, seriously, like,
Yeah.
that's insane. And now they're doing it with the Richard Allen thing. Now they're saying, I could say their names. I don't care. They're in the public thing. Elvis Fields, Johnny Messer, Brad Holder.
Yeah.
If I were those guys, I would file the biggest lawsuit you ever saw. You're saying I murdered 2 children? What proof do you have?
One of them, I think it was Holder, posted a piece of art that he created, which was kind of close to the actual crime scene.
That is weird.
Before
I will admit.
the details of the crime scene were actually released, and has the runes on the ground and everything.
I know someone that saw it and they said it's fucking creepy.
Very creepy. Well, he posted it on Facebook. There are
But it's
screenshots
gone
of
now,
it.
I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it
I
is
heard
very
about it.
disturbing.
Yeah, I heard there's some other disturbing photos. And look, was somebody else helping with the cleanup? Because I'm telling you right now, the bodies were not there when they searched. I'm telling you, they were placed there. That's not the kill site.
Wow.
Everyone will argue with me.
Where is the kill site then?
It's in a shack
What? I've never heard this before.
because you guys, no one knows the truth on Delphi.
A shack.
They're not killed where they're found. Absolutely not.
Well, maybe that actually is plausible
Why
because
does it
they
kill
were
people?
placed a certain way.
Right.
Yeah.
And why are all the searchers don't see them when they search the river up and down for 4 hours? How do they not see them?
Yeah.
They have flashlights. There's firemen out there. They're in the river, the creek. They're on both sides of the bridge. How do you not? There's 2 dead bodies.
Yeah.
They are not there.
Right. And they're not covered by snow or leaves or anything.
Ron Logan had a shack on his property that nobody knew where it was. And it was hidden, and then it got destroyed. And I know somebody who saw it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And the searchers never went in it. Now, whether the cops actually went in it, I don't know. Did they hose it down? I don't know. Logan goes to the aquarium store. You know, he leaves pretty fast, okay? He's only got an hour to clean up. Richard Allen, they say they see Richard Allen walking back to his car about 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have, technically, the 213 is the video down the hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
From 213,
Snapchat.
they've got an hour and a half to murder and clean up.
Yeah.
And stage and put the bodies in the shack.
And that's an inside source.
It's an inside source. I have multiple. And the 2 people under the bridge, they don't see or hear anything. And they're right by the bridge at 3 p.m. They don't hear anybody get murdered. They're right there. They're within an earshot of it. They're right there. There's 2 witnesses. I won't say their names. People know who I'm talking about.
Wow.
So look, like I said, I'm not God. I'm just saying I have to take a stance. I have to stand for something. There's not a lot of blood at the crime scene. There's not blood on Libby's clothes. She's not killed clothed.
Right.
Okay. And they're not there. The searchers told me they're not there at that night. I think Logan moves them with an ATV or a wheelbarrow or something, and he moves them and he places them about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., somewhere really late.
Yeah, they said overnight he was close to where the bodies would be found. On his,
before
Google
GPS. Yeah. There's a little 8 and 10 p.m. I don't know. He might be looking to see what the searchers are doing.
True.
You know what I mean? But I can tell you right now, I believe they're not there at that night.
Wow.
Yep.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of evidence that says they're not killed there. People thought they were drowned in the creek. Okay.
What are we going to find out in this trial?
I hope they have cameras in the trial. Right now, the judge said no.
What?
Yes.
Because we wanted to watch it.
Yeah, we want to live stream it.
Everybody wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Right now, the judge said no, and I think partly because of the chaos. They had a fight outside the courtroom. Did you see that video?
No.
Pull that up someday.
Yeah, let's pull it up now.
That was a good one. I kind of know these guys. There's the fight outside the courtroom. There's like a TikTok video of it. They got banned from the.
Who was fighting though?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say the names. They go.
No, I mean, like, what was it? Journalists or?
It's saying YouTubers banned from Delphi hearings after fight.
They're banned from the trial.
They're giving us a bad name.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them, you know what's sad is the 2 of these guys had full access to the trial. They let them in. Everything was cool. If they just left each other alone, they would have sat in the trial every day, and they literally couldn't do it. And they had restraining orders against each other.
Oh my God.
So there's a fight, and they do it to Kung Fu music. They do this funny music to them, Kung Fu fighting. And so they have podcasts, both of them, and they level accusations against each other.
Jesus.
I won't say their names. You can look.
Yeah. Well,
personal and contentious back and forth between Special Judge Brian Glen and the attorney representing Richard Allen's defense team. Testimony and evidence was presented as to whether or not
this is the guy you called old
man. The guy that called me some guy.
Some guy.
Okay.
He called me some guy. And I'm like, are you an investigator, sir?
Yeah.
You're a reporter.
Okay, let's restart this.
Okay.
Some guy.
Why is he going to say that you got to put, if you could put the video of them fighting, that would be
I think they're going to have
sometimes personal and contentious back and forth between Special Judge Brian Glen and the attorney representing Richard Allen's defense team. Testimony was heard, evidence was presented as to whether or not Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie should be found in contempt for their sometimes sloppy, sometimes vigorous approach to defending Richard Allen in the killings of Abby Williams and Libby German outside of Delphi in February of 2017. Judge Gull from the start was at sometimes stern with the gallery and seemingly bored and exasperated with the attorney representing the defense team of Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie. The defenders had been accused by prosecutor Nicholas McLeland of violating the judge's gag order and leaking case evidence and information. Indianapolis attorney David Hennessy, representing Baldwin and Rosie, drilled down on the lack of intent in the evidence leaks and the roles of social media posters unknown to Baldwin as they republish crime scene photos. McLeland has argued that other leaks to social media that didn't come from the defense team are irrelevant to this proceeding. The judge confirmed the 2 kidnapping charges against Richard Allen have been dropped. She did add, however, 2 felony murder charges to the 2 murder charges that Allen already faces. Meanwhile, as soon as the contempt hearing is concluded, the judge will also hold a hearing on exculpatory evidence that the defense team believes that Richard Allen did not commit those murders. At Fort Wayne in the Allen County Courthouse, Russell McQuaid.
Yeah, but he talks about 2 people. There was a fight at lunch, and then they went outside, and there's a video of them, like, literally.
Okay. We'll have to track that down.
We'll hunt that down. But so the lawyers have a lawyer, right? So the lawyers are fighting each other. So now there's the contempt and the actual, like, it's not about the actual murders right now. It's about the lawyers, whether they're going to get thrown in jail or not for contempt for leaking the crime scene photos. They think they did it deliberately.
Right.
Oh,
So
my
there's-
God. So
there's
they may go to jail for that. Just
Now, the problem is the trial's coming up so quickly. They still haven't ruled on the contempt thing yet. And the trial's like literally coming up with
Yeah.
Yeah, in May.
May 13th or 15th. It starts the jury selection.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
yeah, it's, if Richard Allen gets off, if he gets acquitted, that whole town there will be a riot in that town. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, because then you got to find out who really did. You can't just stop like OJ and be like, all right, that's it. You got to actually find who killed these girls. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
We'll go because Logan is dead. He is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Allen is
In 2022, he died, not 2020.
and if Richard Allen is acquitted because they can't tie the bullet to him, like it's a retracted bullet.
Yeah.
Science sounds kind of weird to the jury. There's no DNA on the bodies. He has no murder weapon. There's no murder clothing. Yes, there's people that say they saw him. They don't hard ID him.
Yeah.
There's the witnesses that see him on the walking towards the bridge. One says he's in all black. One says he's in all blue.
Yeah.
One says he's tall. One says he's short. That's a problem.
One says he's a curly-haired little kid.
Yeah.
And one says he's a stocky man that looks like Kevin Pollak.
If his wife, if Richard Allen's wife goes on the stand against him, because that is like, the prevailing theory that they think she may have been the one to come out and say, I think my husband did it. And that's why they ended up getting the search warrant going there. They said that there were fibers on the girls' bodies, and they dug up his dead cat to see if it was their cat.
Right.
So they did DNA testing on that too. So it's going to be very interesting to see if those are all real things that actually happen.
Bullet type in his house.
Oh, they said it already matches the gun.
He had 2. I guess he had like cheap bullets and then a better bullet, but mostly they were the wrong bullets. But then there was like one bullet that was kept in a safe keep, like they say that in the warrant. I don't know if it's a Smith & Wesson. Blaze was one, and then look, I don't stick up for murderers. So if I feel Richard
It's
Allen,
a good stance to take.
Yeah. Don't want to get too political here.
Well, on Delphi,
Gotta get off my soapbox for
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
but on Delphi, that's what they do because they don't even give a crap if they're like hate the prosecutor and the judge but here's my point. If Richard Allen is involved, then I will try my best to let the public know he's involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So right now, it doesn't look good for him. I say this is my last take on Delphi. If Richard Allen does not get in the blue chair and does not testify for himself, he's going in.
Yeah.
That's my thought on him.
Nana's asking, what do you think about the satanic ritual part of the case? Do you believe it?
The Odin
I'm
thing.
running to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Odin thing. I don't buy the Odin thing. I don't think Brad Holder.
You don't buy any of the Odin thing.
No.
So why the distraction?
Because
Why?
that's what the attorney's job is. That's their job, is to distract you and it's called a third party defense. They're going to say, this guy did it, this guy over here. And look, I'll tell you this right now, Baldwin and Rosie, these guys are good lawyers. They are courageous. They are hardcore. They pump out dude, you couldn't read all these. If you know how many pages they put out, like 1,000 pages.
Wouldn't the perpetrators have to have been involved in this?
That's what I'm saying. How do you prove that if those guys?
Well, what I mean is the girls were put in certain positions that suggest Odin as symbols, right?
Let me say this. All right, look, because I appreciate coming on with you, right? Here.
Yes.
Okay.
We appreciate you too.
We can blur the line a little bit, and I can get hardcore, right?
Yes.
You give my freedom of speech, my first.
Right. This is America.
I'll say this to you, and I won't say how I know it.
Okay.
There are no antlers on the girls, either of them. That is not true.
That was made up.
That's bull crap.
Okay.
There's no such thing. The sticks that are laid on them, from what I understand, from my sources and from my own research, they do not look like anything that I would say is ritualistic. Okay. If
it might have just been,
it's weird.
The wind might have blown them.
It's weird. No, I'll give them this. It's weird.
Okay.
But to me, through my research, I opine, the way it looks to me is they're almost like put in a coffin. Like it's almost like
Right.
It's a symbolic like shape to say they're playing with them for sure. There's some strange, one of the girls is posed supposedly in a kind of a weird way, which is horrific and creepy.
Yes.
But I'm saying is like, you wouldn't look at it or go do the research and go, oh my God, that's the Nazis were here. Like, or this is satanic. There's a pentagram on the tree. Like,
well, Satanism is usually
they
assumed anytime you see any sort of what could be perceived as symbolism, right?
We say Odinism, that is a Nazi type kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a white supremacist.
But would you agree that any sort of positioning of victims, usually people jump to something like Satanism or...
I think it could be subjective, but even other people that I've talked to, they believe there's no symbolism with what is there.
Okay.
There's something weird. Some of the branches are very big, supposedly, like thick.
Yes.
Okay? That's kind of weird.
Right.
They're not like, you would think you just throw some leaves.
Yeah.
It's not like that supposedly. So, and I will admit, like when he brought that point up, there is some weird stuff that these guys did post that sort of resembles. So I get it. But you know, what's really kind of weird too is now supposedly the defense team used these guys to help them create this Odin white supremacist ritualistic killing. Okay. That's why these guys were brought in. Then one's about to go to jail, right? And the other one is dead. Think about that. So I try to hire you guys to consult and both of you, one goes to jail and one's dead. Wow. Like, and that's why the judge and they went crazy in the email exchange of like, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, so we were just talking.
While you were gone, we actually figured out the case.
Oh, hit me.
But we can't get into it right now.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you later.
So the sticks we're talking about.
Yeah.
Look, the guy who I have respect for that did take his own life, he did feel it was ritualistic and he fed that theory along with other people. Look, lawyers can use other people. They could have called me, okay, if they wanted to and said, hey, tell us everything about Ron Logan, right? They didn't. So I heard a little secret. I mean, I could say a quick secret here.
Uh-oh.
Because, I like to do that. I drop bombshells
on
court TV, they say. So I'm supposed to,
consider this court TV.
Maxwell saying, dude in the blue hat kicks ass.
Oh, good. They let the
thank you.
come through.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm the only one without a blue hat, so fuck me, I guess.
My quick, I won't say it's a rumor. I won't say I can confirm it. I won't say it's true. From what I believe, I opine, this Odin thing is kind of a distraction. And when they come to trial, it's going to be Logan.
Interesting.
You know what I mean by that? Like they'll bring up the Odin thing and they'll pepper it, and then here comes the FBI search warrant. Why did you say that it was Ron Logan? They're going to put the FBI on the stand. Why did you believe? Why did you write that? Why did the ISP withhold that information? Why do you? Well, it's an investigation. They don't have to release it. Okay. Well, why is a podcaster have it? Like,
Right.
You see what I mean?
Could the defense bring in an FBI guy who covered it?
Yes.
As a witness for the defense
Absolutely.
instead of the prosecution?
Yes.
I mean, they're in law enforcement.
They have to use a special lawyer. I learned some of this. I guess
Yeah.
there's a lawyer that has to function with the federal government.
That would be a major wrinkle in the case if they actually pulled that off.
I'm telling you right now, if they don't eliminate the Ron Logan thing, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm going to say my 2 cents real quick is if I went up to Nick McClelland and his other counsel and the other people helping him, I'd say you better rule out Ron Logan, dude. You either better accept he's bridge guy, right? And then say Richard Allen's the accomplice, or you are in a lot of trouble. Like if you don't account for Logan being BG and you just say it's Richard Allen, you are playing with fire.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's hard to think that it was just one person that did this by themselves.
It makes sense, right? 2 people.
Yeah.
Two girls.
2 people makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I mean, the murders were actually gnarly. So the fact that if one, I mean, of course, you could be paralyzed in fear, but also if you see something really bad happening to your friend, you could also run.
And yell, and nobody heard anything.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's why I think they were brought to a shack or a shed. I think they were brought in inside somewhere. Logan had a big horse barn. He had another shed. I think it's a hidden type shack. And I don't want to say too much. I think I know where it is.
Mhm.
And it was kind of around the corner from where people were looking. But I do know some things about the tapes that Libby made. And I'm telling you right now, I think there's more tape than we've been told.
Oh, there's absolutely more. Yeah. They're saying that there's like 2 minutes and 45 seconds worth of video and audio that we've only heard guys down the hill.
And I don't think they played it for the families. I think they only played them the first parts.
The family didn't even know how they died until the actual documents were just released, within the last year.
And I'll tell you this, I'm the one who said how they died. I'm the one who leaked, who gave that information came from me. And people will say, well, we knew it was a knife. In the beginning, obviously, if there was rumors of stabbing, sharp force. But I really was the first person. I think I said it on Court TV. I did say how they were killed. Why wouldn't you tell the families how they were killed? They didn't even know.
Yeah. They're not talking to the families
they didn't
at all.
even know. When I brought it up, they didn't even know how they were killed. 5 years. And that town, that's why I'm calling it the sins of Delphi, because you had Logan right there in your sights. I'm not saying Richard Allen's innocent. Nobody said his name. And you have to look at it too, is if Richard Allen was bridge guy, nobody recognized him for 5 years. When you have video, his voice, he worked at CVS down the street from the courthouse and the police station.
The jacket really is the thing that I feel like someone had to have recognized that jacket if they were close to that person. Like, oh yeah, that's my uncle's jacket.
How would nobody look at bridge guy and go, that's Richard Allen? Like if he works at the CVS behind the counter at pharmacy.
Right.
And he doesn't move. He doesn't change his job.
Yeah.
He doesn't change his appearance because he knows you don't have him on tape. You have his buddy, Ron Logan, and Logan's not going to flip him.
Right.
He's not. Because if he flips him, it's just like the other case we just talked about. You can't, it's two devils. They can't flip on each other. It's a sad story. The case, they will talk about this case for 20 years. This case, no matter what happens. Yeah.
Will it be solved?
It will be solved. I feel it will be solved. I feel I've solved part of it. If Richard Allen goes into jail, a lot of people still will think he's innocent. So it's subjective what you just asked.
Yeah. The evidence will, everything in my head comes from the search of Richard Allen's home. If they actually found that some of the evidence was there, because they're saying he took a trophy. If the trophy was in his shed, that to me is like, okay, well, he was at least one half of
some
it.
of their clothing.
Yeah.
He has some, there's rumors about that. There's another phone that maybe didn't, they wrote this, they put this cryptically in the documents too.
Right.
That they at first said that Abby didn't have a phone, then they did, then she didn't. And so I don't know what's up, but I just, it's a baffling case. And I kind of feel like I rue the day I got involved, partially because when people call the police on me and say I'm suicidal and send the cops to my house.
How many times does that happen?
I'm
once?
already kind of paranoid. Like, what if I did something when someone came to my door and I thought they were fake police?
Right.
You see what I mean?
How many times have they done that to you?
Well, once. This time it was one.
Yeah.
Time. This is recent though.
Yeah, that's scary.
Jeez.
Like, I'm already paranoid from my other cases with mob guys. Somebody bangs on my door and they're dressed like the cops.
How do you know that what they?
That's
have?
what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and if they try to come in, what if they try to kick in my door and I think they're coming, dude?
Right.
Like that's why I had to go to FBI.
If a pizza delivery guy is at the door and you didn't order a pizza, let it go.
Yeah.
Don't get tempted.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm on a podcast with guys that have a sense of humor. Because always, that's why I'm looking at you and then I laugh, but because everything I do is so serious. And to be honest, part of me is like this. I do like to kind of have fun and be irreverent.
Well, you have to sometimes.
Yeah.
So
You need some levity in life.
Lose your mind.
Because it's an ugly world.
Yeah. Big time.
It's also beautiful. Okay, one more on Delphi.
I think that's pretty much it. We're caught up. He's we'll see if the motion to suppress will go through. I think they'll probably just deny it this week. But it is interesting that they're trying to suppress confessions that don't line up to what actually happened. So the confessions might actually help him in the long run. Right. If he's saying, "Oh, I shot them both in the back and they didn't have any bullet holes in them."
Those two attorneys, I will say in my final closing statement, Rosie and Baldwin, they're quite the attorneys. I'm going to say it right now. And for me, like, I hate defense attorneys. I deal with another guy who's a cool guy, actually. But defense attorneys, they always are saying to you, like, "Oh, I don't think he did it." And you're just like, you kind of rubbed the wrong way. But I will say those two dudes, they know what they're doing. And they write very well, and they have battled every step of the way. If Richard Allen kept his mouth shut, like, he's not
let them do
any favors, and look, the rumor too is that Richard Allen did soft confess to somebody, I won't say who, that he bragged about the murders. That's the rumor.
There we go
outside of jail?
In
like before he was caught?
2022, before.
Wow.
Okay, he gets pinched in October of 2022. The rumor is, sort of wink, wink, that he bragged to somebody in the summer that he was involved in the murder. And those people went to the police.
That's that thing
and if
again.
I told you who it was, your head will pop off your shoulders.
Try me. Whisper it off screen.
Yeah.
Who? Klein.
I can say the rumor because...
Oh, no, he's in jail, right?
I can say the rumor.
Yeah, he's in prison for 40 years.
Because it's actually online, so we could probably say the rumor. We'll just say it this way. It's a family member of his.
See, that was the thing, and that's why I thought it was the wife.
Right.
That came out.
Is it the wife?
I won't confirm or deny it.
Blink once if it's the wife.
They said that.
Okay.
Well, I didn't blink. Not to blink when you said that.
That was, a rumor that I had heard that it was his wife that had came out and said,
Kyle, blink twice if you think it's the wife.
Here's what we could say. He doesn't have that many family members. Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They were saying that they had a sneaking suspicion that this was the person, and they found something that confirmed that he was a part of it. So that's what I was saying about the trophy and his wife or his daughter, I guess.
Somebody tips them off to him. Now they start the investigation. Now here's the sneaky part too. They brought him in voluntarily. When you read the documents, they come on in. Like, they just gave him the turnaround. You see what I'm saying? They did there's been some things they've done a good job. I'm not trying to bash Carter and Lazenby and Liggett. I'm not. Like, it's just, look, the things are going to play out a certain way. And for me, I've tried to step back a little. People ask me, like, where's Chris Todd? Like, I'm just trying to step back, man, because look, I call them the wolves. So the podcasters, they're like, they will rip you apart.
Yeah.
I have guys threatening me, like emailing me, like crazy things. Like, and then a guy did a voice like, I've got something for Chris Todd.
No.
Yeah. They sent it to me. And the guy, I don't even know who it is. And he's like, I got something for Chris. Don't worry. Oh yeah. And I'm just like, okay.
Maybe it's the Domino's delivery guy again. He's like, I didn't mean to scare you. I just couldn't find your address.
I got a $6 pizza here.
What toppings on that pizza?
Yeah. A shotgun comes out.
Yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, but thank you for talking about Delphi.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll continue to follow this crazy case.
Yeah, and where the poop trail goes,
boy,
through his mouth.
I hope they have cameras in it would be a great. It would be amazing.
They need to.
Please, Judge.
For the public, it's a public service.
It's important. And Todd Rokita, who's the Attorney General, I could say his name, is fellow Toddster.
Yes,
which means fox.
There you go.
He wanted
Year of the Fox.
Ooh, it is. But, he suggested it'd be good for have cameras in there, but I guess it is up to Judge Gull.
Right. The judge, because the judge in other famous trials like the Menendez brothers, it really was just the judge was like, okay.
Yeah.
They might change their mind. Look, I mean, you talk about fame. You talk about this is their John Bonet.
Right.
This is their OJ.
Oh, this is it's huge.
They have national media. Their media all over the world covers this story.
Yeah.
I say, why not? I mean, people are interested. You learn something about the process. Nothing is hidden.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, because then they won't even allow people to bring in their own like phones or anything. So it's just going to be people writing down what's happening. And
I think,
and we see how bad their sketches are from the case.
Yeah.
You can't rely on the court sketches then.
Right.
They're going to be just as bad.
Right. And I think it would be good to, and I'm not saying this like to make them famous and write books, but look, this is their time to shine. These are the lawyers. This is their moment.
Yeah.
They risked jail time. McClelland's been a lawyer for not that long, I guess, as a prosecutor. This is his moment to come out. Like, the judge gets her moment. The families, come on. Like,
right.
I think, let it out. Just
right.
put it all out there.
The most interesting thing to me was, how the two lawyers were actually taken off the case by the judge, and then they appealed it.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
I don't know. They said there was one other case in Indiana or somewhere near there. I've never seen it.
That's why this case is so insane. They fought it, were put back on, and the lawyer that was...
I never see a lawyer get kicked off, period.
No. And this guy that helped him out while the other two were kicked off went on and had a national news interview and said, not only is Richard Allen not guilty, he is completely factually innocent. And he's like, I've never been more convinced that someone had nothing to do with the crime than Richard Allen.
And think about that. He goes on national TV and does an interview in the midst of literally a Supreme Court. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it is going to be interesting to see what the evidence is against Richard. Who found what? Who was the one that gave the hot tip?
Yeah, like, can we get this train moving finally? That's really what
and he requested the 70-day trial, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I guess Richard Allen and his attorneys said, let's go.
Yeah.
Which to me is sketchy. I'm like, if I was Richard Allen, would I want to go right away? I guess they're trying to catch them off guard.
That's what Brian Koberger's doing in Idaho. He is delaying. He signed off. He said he doesn't want a speedy trial. He doesn't care how long it takes.
Yeah, because he's a sociopath. He's soaking it all in.
Yeah. That is one of the...
Yeah, he's a little weird.
That's the next Ted Bundy right there.
Yeah.
He is fucking...
Dude, like, that is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You'll come back, I hope.
Yes.
Well, I'm moving in.
You're gonna start paying rent.
Big TV.
Yeah. So we can move to, I guess, Aaron Hernandez.
And we also have to talk about Hannah Gutierrez.
Ooh.
That's the last
thing. Okay, let's go to Hernandez.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have another story about Aaron that we didn't necessarily cover.
Long history with the Aaron Hernandez story.
Yeah.
But I won't say it too much because, I know we've gone a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the episode, we did a couple of episodes on Hernandez, actually.
Yeah.
And basically, why, Kyle, you...
Yeah, I mean, he had killed 2 people in the theater district in Boston after they spilled a drink on him, and they had him on camera leaving after those guys left. Somehow he was found not guilty in that trial, but it was very clear that he's the one that did it.
Yeah.
And then with Odin Lloyd, it was about to be his future brother-in-law that he dragged to an industrial park a mile away from his own house and murdered him in cold blood, left the keys to the rental car in his name in his pocket. Just not a bright guy. But yeah, I know that you have had some work, investigating it, and also on the entertainment side too, I think.
And I can give you a pretty cool story about this because, this is going to be pretty shocking to you. So are you ready?
Yes. I'm ready.
I like you guys. I do. I didn't think I was going to like it.
It's like
when I was coming up here,
oh, really?
I don't know.
What did you think?
I don't know. I just just the way when I saw the place, I'm like, is this where it is? Like, I just didn't know. I kind of was like, and I think I'm going to be.
It's North Hollywood,
like,
baby.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to come in. There's like 9 guys.
Oh no.
Oh no way.
Anyway.
We're barely here.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. You don't know what you're
Yeah,
stepping
you don't know
into.
what walking
And if you
exactly.
and to record where there's like 20 people
like
watching
9
you from the
guys.
side, that would be so annoying. No, this is intimate.
Yeah,
This
cool.
is
No,
NoHo.
it's a good setup.
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's late. Nobody. It's just
It's
us.
nice. Yeah.
Here we go.
So we won't keep this too wordy because everyone's going to fall asleep. So, Aaron Hernandez. So I'm from Connecticut. I grew up in the town next to Aaron. Some of my family members actually kind of knew him, met him. He played football. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year. He was amazing. He was supposed to go to UConn. I went to UConn. So I have
with his brother DJ.
DJ played at UConn.
He did.
I met DJ. He actually goes by Jonathan. He's actually going to jail, possibly.
Whoa.
Throwing a brick at ESPN. And also
which started in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
down the street from my house.
Yep.
So this hit home for me. And when
Like the brick.
like a brick. And so DJ has some issues with that he has to deal with in court now and whatever. So I wrote a letter to Aaron in jail. And when this happened, I loved the Patriots. I loved New England. I had the pride. He grew up in the town. Now, he's younger than me. I didn't know him.
Yeah.
We used to get in fights with the kids from Bristol, Connecticut. We used to meet at McDonald's and kids would pull a bat out of their car.
What is with that area?
Well,
both of you.
Sounds like, I'm from Boston, so
Oh yeah.
it's the same shit.
My mom is from Woburn.
Oh, nice.
So you know that town.
Yeah.
Which has its own history.
Yep.
So my point is Bristol was a tougher town where it was kind of blue collar. These kids wanted to be kind of gangsters. We were more the preppier kids, but most of the kids were white in Bristol, really, and in my town where I grew up. So I had this history with it, and I saw this thing with Aaron. I'm like, sounds like a typical tough guy from Bristol, Connecticut, right? ESPN was created down the street from where we all lived. Okay, there was one satellite dish there. One.
The whole town just shared it?
When I'm saying how small ESPN was.
Oh, you mean ESPN itself?
This is kind of, This is kind of a little history of, and that's why DJ goes and throws a brick at ESPN, and it's got this interesting angle with UConn. UConn helped create ESPN with the basketball and
right.
So anyway, ESPN was like, we used to ride our BMX bikes past there, and there was like this bike ramp over there. They had one dish, one building. Okay.
Wow.
It literally was nothing. Okay. They became the worldwide.
I know it's so
worldwide leader in sports.
Incredible.
They have a campus and a compound there now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I immediately had the connection to, I wanted this story. I wanted to write a screenplay, and I wanted to make the movie when I was still a scripted guy, sort of. I wanted to make the movie about Aaron Hernandez, the Patriots, the football. I called it 4th and Inches. Sometimes
like it.
Sometimes the last inch is the hardest.
You talking about
That's my porno.
Movie.
You talking about his prison stay?
Yeah. No, this is anyway. Then I partnered with a guy who wrote the article "The Gangster in the Huddle," which was a guy from Rolling Stone magazine. So we all merged together. We had a project. So I wrote Aaron Hernandez in jail. I said, I think you're the Scarface of sports. Okay.
That's perfect.
Because he was big with the drugs and the hooker. There was a hooker involved with something with him and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 days later, after I assume he got his brother called me and goes, Aaron got your letter and I have your phone number because Aaron gave it to me. So I gave Aaron my cell number. That started my journey on Aaron Hernandez.
Damn.
Okay? So I have a direct connection to Aaron from jail. Okay. DJ and I were supposed to meet. We kept doing the phone. He was living in Texas at the time, did some back and forth. I wrote a spec script. I brought a producer. I brought an agent. I brought all these people. Looked like it was going to happen. We had the hottest project in town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Didn't happen. They tried whatever. Everyone knows my Hollywood story. I don't even want to get into it. It didn't happen. Now Ryan Murphy's doing it. Ryan Murphy's going to do a limited series. It's already been announced. I'm not going to mess with him. I'm not going to.
That casting looks horrible.
I don't know what the casting deal.
It looks nothing like.
Yeah, it's a kid that doesn't really look like him at all.
I had the whole project built, set up, went to 5 agencies, 2 studios, met presidents of studios. Didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe I have dickhead written on my forehead. I don't know. So
I don't see it.
Yeah, I know, because I'm wearing a hat. So anyway, moving on. Ryan Murphy's going to do it. He'll do a great job. He did the Andrew Cunanan. He did OJ's series.
Dahmer, I enjoyed.
Cool.
Very well done.
I'm sure it'll be good. He's brilliant and it'll be good. So that's going to come out. Anyway, I learned a lot of things about Aaron. The story I wanted to tell his story in a dark way. I wanted it to be dark.
Yeah.
And I didn't go with the LGBTQ angles. I didn't want anything to do with that.
Why not?
I just didn't see any of it.
Isn't that part of his fabric, though?
I guess. One guy said this. One kid.
Isn't there more, Kyle? Than just that Kyle Kennedy.
Well, yeah, Kyle Kennedy, and then his quarterback from high school was like his best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have at least 2
people. Isn't one like a complete felon in jail?
Yeah. Well, he's not the most credible source.
I just didn't, and that, Ryan Murphy is into that stuff, so that's why he's going to work that angle.
Yeah, good point.
Cunanan, right? When they did Cunanan.
Yeah.
So
and Dahmer. Dahmer had
right
for a really vicious, ghoulish serial killer. He made that quite, like it almost seemed like softcore gay porn at some point.
Yeah, for real.
Well, and you're right, that had that angle too. So I just didn't see it with the football and Tom Brady, and he threatened to like beat Wes Welker's ass in the locker room. And there was just amazing thing, the helicopters above, he runs into the place. Robert Kraft sees him. I had this in the script, and I think some of this is actually true. I think this is part of the trial, so I must have based it on it. Robert Kraft saw him in the gym. What's going on, right? And the chopper's overhead, and they have this conversation, and Robert Kraft says, I loved Aaron. I said, I love you. Remember? I don't know if you saw his testimony. Yeah. So,
and did you see that recent documentary?
Yeah.
On Apple?
Killer Mind?
Yeah, that was, no, what was that called? The Dynasty.
The Dynasty, yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
That had some insight into Belichick and Kraft.
Yeah, it was like a Belichick hit piece.
And, Robert Kraft was sad. He was sad.
Yeah.
Aaron was a great player. Aaron almost caught the touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Watched the Super Bowl 46.
Oh, he was a beast. He was an amazing
He played
player.
3 positions.
Yeah.
Receiver.
He could play offense, defense.
So
he even wanted to
that's
kick.
just in the bedroom.
Oh my God. That's just in his jail cell.
Yeah.
No, but he also said, he wanted to be the kicker too at one point. Remember that? In the practice?
Yeah.
He's like, let me kick the ball.
Yeah. No, let me return it. Yeah.
Or return it. Yeah. Yeah. He wanted to be the punt returner.
Yeah.
Because he's better than everyone.
He wasn't the fastest guy in the world. He really wasn't. And he had, they handed the ball off to him a couple times. He played in the slot. He played the receiver, outside receiver.
Yep.
He was tight end.
Yeah.
Like they had him and Gronk together. Like, I mean,
right.
He was a great player. He could have been one of the all-time great tight ends of all time. He really could have.
For sure.
Yeah. And he had some mental health issues. He wanted to be a gangster.
Right.
And we had in Bristol, that town, that's what their thing was. gangster rap. And I talked about this in my screenplay, the invasion of the gangster rap culture into the white suburbs of Connecticut.
Yeah.
I talked about that. And I thought I wanted to do that too. I used to listen to Snoop Dogg, and I thought I was like Dr. Dre, and we rapped and, did other things that would go along with that. So I related to him a lot in the town. And so that's what we did. I didn't get the project to get off. I can drop a bombshell to you. Aaron shot more people than what you've listed.
Wow.
Okay. And there's a story that he shot up a car and hit 4 people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard about
in Florida when he was in college. We covered.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And his buddy in the face in Miami. Yeah.
The kid woke up and the gun was in his face like this.
Yeah. Lost an eye.
So it lived. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
he sort of deserved it.
And
though,
he's the one who
'cause
helped him kill the 2 people in Boston.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
right. Because he's getting rid of the witness.
What goes around comes around. But he wasn't very good at getting rid of him. He got rid of his eye.
Well, he shot him in the face.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Shoot your eye out.
This guy, well, actually, you talk about people like OJ and Aaron Hernandez. You always say, how could there ever be another figure like this again? But I feel like there's a lot of people like that I'm thinking now, because Aaron Hernandez really, the level he was at in the NFL, and to go and be that kind of a brutal murderer, a gangster.
That's why they wrote the article, The Gangster in the Huddle.
Yeah.
I told the story 4th and Inches because, whether it was CTE, they did his brain, I think, right? They said it was
worse than an 80-year-old.
He did have CTE.
Yeah.
And
the worst, most progressed case they've ever seen in a person that young.
He was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very young.
Yeah.
27 Club.
Yeah.
So he, it was a sad story. And a lot of people in Connecticut, I took pride because I have a lot of Connecticut pride.
Yeah.
And he was kind of our son. Like
right.
He was going to go to UConn. And then I know the coach actually that took him to Florida. He used to coach some of my friends. And he went to Florida. He's a brilliant coach.
Yeah.
Say his name. He coached at Boston College. He's in the pros now, I think. And he brought Aaron to Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And they knew Aaron had some problems, but he torched Oklahoma. Like if you watch that game,
yeah,
Aaron helped them win a national title. I think they won 2.
They did. Yeah.
And he went to the Patriots. He was playing with Tom Brady.
Played in the Super Bowl.
He was one of Tom Brady's main targets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch the games that year, he's looking for him a lot.
It's crazy.
He flushed it down the toilet.
I hate to say it, but that's who you want on the field. You want an absolute monster.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in football, right. You if he's got a problem and he beats some guy up at a bar like he did, they don't care.
Not at all.
They do not care.
That's what I think I said in the episode, that in some ways that's like, oh, okay, good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he's got
that's what we need you to do on the field anyway.
Yeah.
Right. In baseball, they say you got red ass in you.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, I also called it kind of the death of a boy's dream. And so it was like the fall of Zeus. I called it a Greek tragedy, like how God gave this kid everything, right? And he fucked it up. Like he couldn't, and he wanted to rap, and he chain smoked marijuana. And there was a girl, he turned out a chick. And these kids from Bristol, that's why I talked about it, because I could have been him. I wasn't an athlete like him, but I'm saying some of my friends went down that path with drugs and drug dealing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Up in Boston, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could see that. And then he goes to Boston, right? So he's Connecticut, Boston. You have this. So yeah, you guys I'd love to hear something from you guys. That's my main thing. I wish I made his story. I wish I did. I think Ryan will do a great job. I still could do a movie about it someday. He's doing a series. I still could do a one-off, but I just felt the connection to him. And I just felt that it was almost like some brother I never had that just went off the rails. You know?
It's interesting to think that maybe if he didn't, get drafted to a team that was 100 miles away from his hometown and all the troubles he had there, would he have fallen in with, if he was in Seattle, let's say, would he fall in with the gangsters over there and get into just as much trouble? We don't know.
Or if he was drafted to the Packers,
would
he have stolen someone's cheese head?
Yeah.
That would have been the best place for him to go. Somewhere like Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can't get your shit together for Tom Brady, you're not going to do it. for many other people, I would
I
assume.
know, right?
So.
Think about that. Like he got to play with the greatest football player in history.
Silver platter, dude.
Maybe he would have gotten something going with Aaron Rodgers. You never know.
Hey, in
Did you see
flagrante.
Oh, I said too much.
You ever seen his tattoos?
Hernandez?
Not in
On
detail.
the back, he has Jesus like this.
Not in as much detail as Kyle Kennedy.
Yeah.
There's a Jesus on his back with the crown of thorns. I'll send you the photo.
Oh, nice.
So, and I guess I put it in the script too. The teardrops he put for the murders are actually tattooed on his body.
Jesus.
People were enamored with his story. He's a household name.
Oh,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
His
because
story trended for like 80 weeks, literally for years.
that's what I'm saying. When does that happen? When does it for OJ? When does a famous person murder somebody? When does a famous athlete?
Right, Ray Caruth.
Yeah,
His
right.
girlfriend killed.
And when does a famous athlete who's beloved go out and become a serial killer?
Right.
That rarely happens. This is a fascinating tale.
Yeah. It's
By
crazy.
definition, he almost is a serial. It's 3 or more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
Really?
Yeah.
Not for lack of trying. He really tried to kill more people, but they all survived.
Right.
Yeah, his friend that lost the eye.
Yeah.
How do you
and the people in that car in Florida.
Right. But how do you mess that one up? His
that
buddy with
Point
the eye.
blank.
That guy got lucky, but
Yeah. Big time lucky.
so, yeah.
Well, on that note, that brings us to this week's of the week.
Oh.
Haha of the week. The last story we got here is Rust armor Hannah Gutierrez-Reed gets sentenced to the maximum 18 months. And a lot of people might think, oh, poor girl, she didn't really do as much. She is such an asshole. And lawyers tell you when you pick up the phone to call someone from jail, it says this line is being recorded.
Yeah.
Yet people forget time and time again. Not everybody has the luck that O.J. Simpson got, where he admitted to it and then that jailhouse phone call goes missing somehow. All of Hannah's are accounted for, and people went through. There was a transcript. I don't know if the actual recordings were released, but she was calling the jurors idiots and assholes for convicting her, and then said, "I want to slap that bitch," talking about the judge.
Did she really?
Yes. Yeah, she goes, I'm going to smack that bitch. She was paid off.
In the courtroom, she looked somber. And
Yeah, she's like, oh, poor me. I'm so sad. And it's like, it's not every day. If a trial for manslaughter makes you look better than you did before, you're probably up to some bad shit.
So it shows she doesn't think she deserves that.
Oh, no. She is like Alec Baldwin light with the same narcissism. She said that the judge got paid off to put her away.
By who?
Exactly. What does anybody have to gain by her going away other than you're guilty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the armorer.
Yeah. So
lucky their state law was 18 months.
Exactly.
Right now,
big
dude,
time.
In other states, it's like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
In Massachusetts, it's, I think, I thought it was like a minimum of 5 years for manslaughter at this level. Yeah. She referred to the jurors as, she said, retards, idiots, and assholes.
She's even using the R word.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, that's...
She says, quote, when they say the jury of your peers, they mean fucking retards.
Oh my God. All right, I sort of like her more now.
Yeah. She also said that she can't wait till Alec Baldwin goes to prison as well.
Well, I agree with her there.
She wants him to go.
Or at least the trial.
Talk about Baldwin. If anything, this could be,
Alec Baldwin.
My wife is from Spain.
Excuse me. She was my friend.
Glen Glen Ross.
Coffees for closers.
He was a great. He is an amazing actor.
Oh, he's a great actor.
One of the best.
Yeah,
I mean, how many great movies has he been in? Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You got Glen Ross.
When he does I Am God.
Right.
That one's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are people saying about this trial, though, we have two camps. There's one camp that says it's easier to get the second guy after the first person is, already found guilty. Then there's another camp that says, you know what, she's already been found guilty, so nobody else is culpable. They already found the person who committed this egregious act. Where do you guys lie?
Go.
Oh, I think that it's going to be easier to convict him because you already convicted somebody. So, they already broke the seal.
Right.
I agree with him too, but I also think because people think Alec Baldwin's a jerk right now because he lied about saying, "Oh, I didn't pull the trigger." Then the guy runs all the tests.
Yeah.
Goes, the gun's new. It actually was new, right? It's
Right.
not old. It's actually it looked
Yeah.
old. But so he goes, it absolutely cannot fire unless he pulls
Yeah,
the trigger.
zero possible chance of that gun going off without you pulling
I
the
think
trigger.
he's getting 18 months too.
Woo!
I think so too.
Yeah.
And that
Unless last
is
minute,
that's going to be televised, right?
yes. Unless last minute he does, if he's smart, right? I'll do 4 months. I'll say sorry. You know what I mean? And you're out in 3. That's what I would do.
He better not do that.
There are a lot of people that said they don't think the New Mexico DA is going to offer anything.
really?
Yeah.
No.
Because they think it's going to be, the prosecution thinks it's going to be easier to get him the second time.
What does the DA have to gain from doing that? They would just be accused of pandering to Hollywood then.
That's true too. But they could also be like, well, he could get off because the defense is going to really pound the fact that someone was already found guilty of it. They're in prison right now. What are we all doing here?
And if they think like when Johnny Depp won his thing, right? Because everybody loved Johnny Depp.
You're right.
And OJ, back to him, the jurors, what if all these jurors are kind of starstruck? Like, we're not putting an actor in jail because that woman loaded the bullets. He's an actor.
Right.
So he's not, it's not
But he's the producer.
He is the producer and financier.
In Hollywood, let me tell you this. I did 20 years of B work.
Yeah.
And everybody knows my story, how many bad movies and TV shows I created and worked and failed at. You guys know my story, right?
Yeah.
I'm the biggest nobody of all time. So anyway, also let me say this. Okay. When they say you're a producer and you're the lead actor, you're not a producer. I'll tell you why.
It's a vanity credit.
It's a vanity credit. You cannot be a real producer while you're in costume, worried about your lines. How are you? You're not. You can't. The first AD, Dave Halls.
Yes.
He was to blame too.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I was a first AD for many years. My job would not be to look at the gun and the bullet either.
Yeah.
I'm not an armorer. It's not my job. If he's the armor and he handed me the gun, I'm not spinning it and going, wait, hold on a sec. I'm not supposed to do that.
But what if the armorer is not there?
Not the first
and you're the
AD,
one that's
master.
but then they ask you to hand it to him.
You can't.
So Dave Halls should have refused.
You cannot. Well, didn't she give it to Dave Halls?
I don't know.
That's
put it on the cart, and she knows
murky
she gave
part.
it to him.
Yeah.
Either directly or indirectly.
Right.
It came from the prop master. The armorer falls under props.
Yeah.
She loaded the gun. That is not David Hall's job at all.
Right.
Now, he says, well, I should have it's not his job. He's not trained in firearms. That's not his position. The Sarah girl, who they hated each other, I guess, Sarah.
Yeah,
Well, Sarah and Dave both went states,
Yeah.
and in exchange for immunity, so they had a feeling that they might have been prosecuted. So the second that they got a deal, they ran to it.
Let's be honest, they were all guilty.
Yeah.
Not David Halls.
Yes. Because
that's it. I'm coming.
No, I've heard that is part of his job.
I was waiting for these guys to fuck it up.
That is part of his job.
Hold on. Time out.
You don't say
Time
cold
out. You
gun.
been a first AD before?
Right now I am. I'm the first AD of this room.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
no, but
let me ask you a question then.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So if you're not an expert in firearms or
not at all.
Okay. Should you be checking the weapon and handing it to somebody?
Hell no.
Okay, then.
Hell no.
The first AD's job is not, he's the safety.
I got one for you then.
But do you think it's his fault for going against his job and picking it up and giving it to him?
That's it.
That's the question with him then.
That someone gave him that gun.
He handed the gun to Baldwin.
Who gave him the gun?
Probably Hannah.
It has to come from the prop master.
But Kyle just made a great point.
He went against his job description. The fact that he did that, does that make him culpable?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, yes, I do agree with that. Yes.
Well, there you go. Okay. So they're all guilty.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like he actually handed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And said cold gun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I want to make one more point. You say that Alec. I'm thinking of Richard Allen.
Yeah.
So the Alec was a producer in name only.
Right.
Well, have you seen the footage of him on set where he's firing the gun after Joel Souza says cut?
Yeah.
Well, my question to you then is, who seems like they're more in control in that footage? Joel Souza, the director, or Alec Baldwin?
Well, here's what I mean. Obviously, Alec Baldwin's the biggest name on that set, right? They give him the vanity credit. Maybe he put up some of his own money.
He did.
Okay. He's kind of the boss. I'll give you that part. But I'm saying in a moment-to-moment situation, you cannot manage everything. You're the actor. You can't be like, how's the gun? How's craft service? Did the pizza come yet? Is overtime tonight? How much? You can't. It's not possible.
Actually, you're not far off from what he actually does in that footage. He is acting like that. He's like, all right, run it again. Let's go. Like he's
I understand.
Immediately.
Yeah, he's he's acting like he's the director.
Look when he fires the gun.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
You noticed that?
Oh, it looks like shit.
It's so bad.
What is that?
We were watching it laughing.
I mean,
obviously, look, the biggest mistake, I still don't know the answer to this. You guys can tell me. How did real bullets get on the set?
They were doing target practice between takes with real bullets.
That's a problem.
They're gun
It's a huge problem, but that's his set. That's why
Right.
I think Alec Baldwin is going to get in trouble and go down for it because he hired her also knowing that Nicolas Cage kicked her off one of his movies saying you're a fucking amateur.
Yeah. And she went
you're
on
dangerous.
She went on a podcast saying like making light of her being an armorer, like I have all these responsibilities, and laughing about.
I thought she was always way too young. I don't see how it's not about the woman thing.
No, it's nepotism.
Way too young.
Yeah,
handling multiple. And then the guy was good. The guy they brought, the expert who was muzzle discipline. You know that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, because the actors are walking around like he swings it and the barrel goes right in front of the kid.
Yeah.
The kid grabs it.
Yeah.
So obviously you're right. I'll give you that with the Alec Baldwin. The culture on the set was bad.
Horrific.
Absolutely.
So,
and for him, if he is having, the vanity producer credit, but then acting like he's the director,
right.
The shoe sort of fits that he had some control on that set.
No, absolutely. I do agree with that. And I think somebody was going to get killed on that set because of all the different
injured.
Could have been a kid, or injured, or somebody else could have died. Joel Souza could have died.
Yeah,
exactly.
It hit him too.
Yeah, that's why they wrote all the letters and then walked off the set. All the people that were working on it the week before this happened.
That is
the week before they said this is one of the most unsafe projects we've ever worked on. We do not feel like our health is being taken seriously here. Peace out. And Alec was just like goodbye, and then ends up fucking killing Helena Hutchins.
And my history in Hollywood too. I worked almost 20 years in many different roles, some low roles, some low roles. I will say this: I was shocked. Someone from the industry, I was shocked that they're still rushing people like that. I was surprised they were crying about money still like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was something we did 15 years. We used to bitch about money.
Right.
And they'd be like, hurry up, hurry up. We're doing a 15-hour day. And we used to sign deal memos. You're going to work 15 hours. I was shocked that those people would cut corners like that. You had Alec Baldwin. You're doing a real movie.
Yeah.
Why are you cutting corners? Why not just pay the right people to do the role?
He says that in the call that he made to the friggin' lead investigator. Was like, every project wants to save money. This is not a new thing. Because he was making the prop master, and the prop master was like the script supervisor too, and like they're like doubling, tripling up on people's jobs.
Yeah, and that's just it's not. There's so much money in Hollywood, man.
Yeah,
I've seen these people overspend.
And Baldwin, you can't find many people more famous than Alec Baldwin in the United States.
Time,
yeah. Hannah also said in her jail call she was having fun, comparing it to summer camp.
Where?
On the jailhouse phone calls.
No, but where was she having fun?
Jail.
She was having fun in jail.
She said jail was fun and compared it to summer camp.
What is it, like Orange is the New Black?
Yeah. And then she mentioned that she's telling people that she's talking to on the phone that people in the jail were saying, I can't believe they threw your pretty little white ass in here for nothing.
For nothing.
So she really thinks she's hot shit.
Oh, boy.
But she's really just cool diarrhea.
Yeah.
She had that weird hair. Didn't she have like purple and yellow hair?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, she cleaned up for a manslaughter trial.
Well, she's a model, supposedly. She said, didn't she say,
yeah,
ruining my modeling career?
Her modeling career.
Yeah.
For what, Kyle?
Something gross.
Yeah, I mean, even Harley Quinn from the Batman movies is going, "Yo, girl, a little too much color."
I think Alec's definitely in trouble. If I was him, I would cut a deal. I really would. If they saw her put her max away, 18 months.
Yeah.
People, look, I'm not saying it's political. We know Alec portrayed Trump. We know that a lot of people hate that, right?
Yeah.
So I think a jury could definitely put Alec away for a couple months. So
For sure, yeah. Miss Gutierrez requested during jail calls that her legal team request that Miss Hutchins' husband and son be contacted and asked to speak on her behalf at her sentencing, which clearly never happened.
Wow.
That's how delusional she is.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, can you get her, grieving husband and son to come on and say, I'm a great person?
Even though she's the cause?
Even though she was found guilty? Yeah.
And the perfect storm, literally, of him pointing it at them.
Yeah.
Because normally, right, you're not supposed to, there's like a bulletproof glass too, if they have to do it straight at the camera. So the storm of like bad management of the bullets, then he points it and pulls the trigger. I mean, it's, most movie sets are pretty safe. I mean, there's been some deaths, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you think about how many guns are fired in Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely.
Day, I mean, they're pretty safe. Like about
think of the John Wick movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
and this was just Alec. I keep saying Alan. This was just Alec prancing around with a gun.
Yeah.
It should not have happened.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's a sad story for somebody to lose their life on a movie.
But in the leaked, of course, but in the leaked phone call that we heard, Alec Baldwin, sure, it's sad that Helena Hutchins died and for the family, but Alec Baldwin laments that he was disinvited from a ceremony to honor Lorne Michaels. Isn't that a tragedy?
He's my friend. Yeah.
They disinvited me.
Yep. Well,
like Bill Maher didn't get invited, so he fired his agents at CAA because did you ever read that story?
No, what happened there?
You got to do that. Bill Maher, he has big agents. There was a big party with all the Illuminati was there, and like,
oh yeah, the Illuminati. Yeah.
Oh, this was last month. He fired CAA.
I want to move into Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
They have good drinks there. No.
So Bill Maher gets so mad. Yeah, right there. Fire CAA. So Brian Lord's like, the Darth Lord of Hollywood, Dark Lord.
Is he the one that
he runs?
Used
CAA.
To be married to Carrie Fisher.
No, maybe no. Who's that? I don't know who you're thinking.
Forget it. Keep going. Though.
No. Anyway, so they don't invite him to this party, and all the bigwigs are there, and Margot Robbie's there, I think, and so they don't invite Bill Maher, and so he gets so mad he fires CAA, and like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
Like what an egomaniac he is. Like why they probably didn't Bill. They probably didn't invite you there because your political views. Okay. Maybe they didn't want to go into massive debates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
From the woke left media. If I could say that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
What? Breaking news.
As I was saying, I know.
Oh, you should hit that.
Leftist Hollywood.
Are you liberal bias?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want you. No, well, actually, I'm saying there's a lot of Republicans in Hollywood, actually.
There are.
So maybe they didn't want Bill Maher jamming down their throat.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to get political right now.
No.
Brian Lord was partners with Carrie Fisher, and they have a daughter, really? Billy Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, so Alec Baldwin, he's in the hot seat. Coming up, trial in July. We'll see what happens. But for now, Miss Hannah Gutierrez, you are this week's of the week.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Good
riddance.
Week. What a week.
What a weird and wild week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts about OJ, Delphi, Hernandez?
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, where can people find you? Chris Todd.
In hell. Find me in hell.
Maybe this is hell.
Purgatory.
Yeah.
No, I want to thank you guys for letting me come on. I love the show. I want to come back again. I'd love to do this again on any topic.
Sweet.
I think you guys have a great perspective. I'm not going to comment on I said way too much about everything. And people know where they can find me. I have a couple emails online. And you can get my number. I always say any victims or their families, I work for free. If you want to talk to me, I'm writing a new book about a child's murder, a different case. And I have another book that I may do. So I'm always open. I'm open to truth seekers. Please don't come to me with the crazy theories that I said I don't believe in. I'm not interested in talking about those things. So thank you very much for having me. And good luck with the next episode you guys do.
Thank you.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
And we thank you.
Yeah.
And we would love to have you on again.
Absolutely.
I'd love to come back on again.
There's so much. Yeah. Now, I mean, Brian Kohlberger for one.
Yeah.
A lot of topics.
That
we
is
could
a
really.
crazy one. There's so many crazy trials coming up and
Yeah.
stories that have happened the last few years. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a new murder every day. We got the 2 women in Oklahoma. That one's going to be the true crime now. But
yeah,
there's plenty of stuff. So I really appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, of course. You can see Chris. He's got a bunch of interviews with News Nation and stuff where he's commented on a lot of these stories. So you can go see him on those programs as well. And if you want to find us on Patreon, go ahead. Patreon.com/deathandentertainment. We are coming out tomorrow with an episode on Norm Macdonald with Ben Kissel, and that'll be out tomorrow afternoon Pacific time. Is afternoon a time?
Pacific time.
Afternoon Pacific. Okay, so if it's afternoon on the East Coast, don't be asking if it's coming up because we got to edit it tonight.
That means it's evening on the East Coast. Probably, right?
Yeah. Shannon had one last question. If you know about Darlie Routier, if she's guilty or innocent. It's a woman on death row who killed her kid. 5-year-old.
I always tell everybody, if you know some secret about a case, send me the secrets. Don't tell me anything basic that everybody already knows. If you know something that nobody else knows, and I can plug something, should I plug?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Plug it in.
I'm going to plug it.
Glade it. Plug it in.
And I don't know. I guess I'll just say it, and I'm not going to reveal too much about it because your heads will spin backwards like Linda Blair. Okay, I'm going to say this. Kurt Cobain was murdered.
We believe that.
And
I'm going to prove it.
Ooh.
But not yet.
I'm
not going to say a comment, but I will tell you, I will say this. I am not interested in Courtney Love.
Whoa.
Okay.
Bombshell. Well, we're not going to top that, so we might as well just say goodbye to everybody.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. We love you. And until next week,
don't go dying on us.